HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
In the end, Super Bowl 59 was no contest. The Philadelphia Eagles raced away to a 34-0 lead before settling for a 40-22 win over Kansas City in New Orleans. Jalen Hurts threw a pair of touchdown passes, ran for a third score, and was voted the game's MVP.
You know, in the beginning of it, you always got a chance. You always had the same vision, always had the same goal, but we was able to put it together, you know, and I think the way our defense played all year, how efficient we were all year, just being all in and winning. You know, we got to maintain that to continue to do what we want to do.
The Eagles defense added 6 sacks and a pick six by Cooper DeJean. The Chiefs fall short of an unprecedented third straight championship. The San Francisco 49ers will host this game next season. Speaking of the Niners, they've given wide receiver and team captain Deebo Samuel permission to seek a trade. He's entering the final year of his contract. Also, Fox Sports reported yesterday the Jets have informed Aaron Rodgers they will indeed be moving on from him this winter. The Celtics had Super Bowl Sunday off after a blowout road win over the Knicks on Saturday night. They visit Miami this evening. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Drew Holiday and the newly signed Torrey Craig are out. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are questionable. In other NBA news, the Milwaukee Bucks announced yesterday Giannis Antetokounmpo will sit out through the All-Star break with a sore calf. And the Beanpot finalists tonight at TD Garden, #1 Boston College will face Boston University. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. Suffering from low T? Game Day Men's Health can help with a free and quick T-level test. Search GameDayMen'sHealth.com today to find the location near you. Game Day Men's Health, because every day should feel like game day. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Boston plays here.
Pressure, half court, it's in the air. He got it! He did it again!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Fred Toucher on Instagram. Follow and see dog humping videos.
and Hardy
I'm going to withhold sex.
on 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Yo.
Can we use this for the radio?
What? Let me hear you say, oh. Na 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 na.
Crush me, mommy.
Just not enough booty to go around? Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the Pope. I'll chase you around a little bit.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Instagram.
I want to dip it in, boy.
Toucher and Hardy
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fun.
Having some fun.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Back off, dude.
Come on, man.
I'm not in the mood for this crap.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Watch us on YouTube live and then on tape throughout the rest of the day, plus highlights from all the shows. The big contest we did on Friday is up there. You can see what all the people looked like. You can search that. You can see that I have white crap all over my black hoodie. That was not dandruff, actually. It was...
Well, yeah, like dryer lint on that thing?
So, I know. It was like... It was like the third time I had worn it without washing it, so I had some kind of situation happening. I'll tell you this, is that Karen Reed is on Fox 25 being interviewed, and I'll say just in time. I can't wait to hear what she has to say. I'm fascinated with this case still. I have so much I have so much depth of caring about this case. Now Hardy lives in Canada.
Now, who is Karen Reed?
Now, she is a young woman who was dating someone. I don't even really know that much about it because I never. Obviously, I don't like that a police officer died. That's not good. But you know, like a lot of news happens. And I just will say this: I never had a fascination with the case at all. I never really, read that she was the split jury and that they're going to try it, and I know that they read these like funny texts out, funny to me, out loud, like during it about her butthole and stuff. So like there was stuff that was that I know about, but this fascination with it, I do not have. I do not have a fascination with the trial. So I just think it's funny that they're running an exclusive interview with her, and it's like 17 years after like the thing.
Well, not only that, like I think the whatever you call it, the retrial or whatever, the new trial was supposed to start now, but they got it postponed until the spring. So it's not like, this is imminent. It's happening any day now. Okay. I think we're months away still.
Yeah, you've heard everyone talk about it. Like,
there's no. As far as I know, there's nothing new to say about it.
So this is great for downtown Canton. More TV trucks, more traffic.
Oh, I don't
difficult
think
it's difficult to get around.
Can I and I'm not saying this to protect my town or anything else. Since the trial took place in Dedham, like when the actual trial was taking place, it did not affect the town of Canton at all.
Okay.
Not that I saw. I mean, there was stuff outside certain establishments, but those were like fleeting moments, and they weren't like big gatherings. I tell you what, where you would see it is driving to Patriots games when you're going down 95 and you go over the Neponset exit. Yeah. And there's people up there on the overpasses with signs.
Always a smart.
For both sides.
Yeah.
Mostly for one side, but you would see it around town and you would see it on corners and stuff. But during the actual trial, there's nothing different.
And I don't think it's going to be even a tenth of what it was the first time around.
I think you're right.
No, people's patience in caring, our attention spans are so low.
Well, that's the sick part of it. It's like you said, Fred. It's like a guy actually died over this, and it's tragic, and people are treating it like a TV show. Oh, I got to go home and watch the trial. And to the idea of a second trial, that's where people's minds are. Oh, I already saw that show.
Exactly.
I don't need to watch that again.
And it becomes like a sporting event kind of.
Yeah, it's gross.
So if I stand on an overpass with signs.
Yes, which you should, but go ahead.
But it's not a democratic election happening. There's nothing that an individual can do. What is the motivation? What are you trying to motivate people to do?
Putting it out there into the universe. Either justice for John or free Karen Reed. It's just you're putting it out there.
Fantastic. But
into the zeitgeist.
But I'm not on the jury. There's nothing I can do about it.
Might be.
Maybe
not if I go in there and I say I've been looking at all these signs and I'm super motivated.
You don't say that. You forgot about it. And again, zeitgeist. Well, which is a word that I think means something.
One juror sees it on the way home and goes, aha!
Yeah.
I've been looking at this incorrectly.
I saw the guy on the overpass. I think I should just start showing up and yelling at everyone.
It's about justice. Okay, hold on.
On my ride home to Foxborough.
I got to rethink all this now.
And I have a feeling that a lot of people that were obsessed with it and quote unquote covering it and like obsessed with it were doing it specifically for their own benefit.
No, when does that happen?
I'm going to go so far as to say that they seized an opportunity to say, "Ooh, I can make this about myself. I can really, really dig in and make this about myself." So I don't know. So I don't care. She's just on TV right now, so I didn't really care.
It kind of reminds me of when the soup Nazi guy from Seinfeld, which I got in trouble for years ago for even saying Nazi on the radio, like in reference to the soup Nazi.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't. Okay.
No one knew what you were talking about.
No one knew what I was talking about. Do you remember when he opened one of his chain restaurants, Faneuil Hall, like somewhere there in Quincy Market? Like the show had been off the air for 15 years. Like, way to strike while the iron is hot there, dude. And of course, by then, like even if it had come out when the show was on, they wouldn't have been able to call his stores Soup Nazi. Mm-hmm. I think even in the 90s, that may have touched a nerve or two with people. So it was like the famous soup guy. Like,
okay.
Nah, I don't know.
Well, he hated it when it first came out.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah. That's why it took him. That's probably why it happened so long after the show was over. Like, he hated it. Like, he was denying that he did anything like that. That he wasn't like that. Seems like it was an accurate portrayal of him, not a man with much patience for anyone. Yeah. But yeah, he was There was him, and then there was the real Kramer giving the tours, which they ended up lampooning on the show. Remember when Kramer did the bus tours? And
So that was based on the real Kramer giving tours?
yeah, I mean, if you can, you can YouTube that. The real Kramer made himself he's dead now, but like during the run of the show, the real Kramer was letting everyone know he was the real Kramer. And he was upset, not at his depiction, but that he was not given more of a piece of giving a piece of the Seinfeld empire because Larry David based a character on him. So, and then Carol Leifer, obviously sued because she was Elaine. So that's what Carol Leifer was obviously very upset about that.
Oh, well.
No, she was actually a writer on the show and liked it.
So did Jason Alexander and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and what's his name, Michael Richard, did they get like good money from the syndication? Because I know that Seinfeld and Larry David, made $1 billion between the two of them when they syndicated that show.
They made money from syndication, to my understanding, but it wasn't even marginally as much. I mean, I think they made a lot of money, but it's not, it's a marginal amount.
Yeah.
Comparatively to like the $1 billion that those two made. And Jerry made more than Larry David because Jerry was there the whole run and acted on it. So and then people say when Larry David left that, we've had this discussion, when Larry David left the show got worse. And I love Larry David, but I think the show actually hit a groove when it got sillier. I liked it better. I mean, the first 2 seasons of Seinfeld, in retrospect, are not fantastic.
I think there are whole episodes that are unwatchable in the first 2 seasons.
Like the first one, or anytime they had softball stuff on until the Bette Midler episode.
Right.
Like they played softball in jeans.
Well,
that was a big issue of mine.
Sandlot style. You're supposed to wear jeans. You show up in shorts and you're going to get mocked and shunned.
Well, then wear sweats or baseball pants. Don't wear jeans. You shouldn't wear jeans to an athletic activity.
Philo Beto went running in jeans, and I'll always remember it. He took his shirt off, and he went for a run.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, the Black Widow showed up.
Very picturesque, him running shirtless in jeans. That was the second one, right? Where is he, Colorado?
Any which way you can?
Yes, any which way you can.
I don't know, John.
I thought he did that. No?
He may have run shirtless in jeans in both installments of the franchise.
That could be.
Well, every now and again, you'll see a landscaping truck pulled over with some dudes playing soccer with jeans on and no shirts. Just like taking advantage of the time.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But that I almost, if you just want to have an impromptu game of soccer, you've been wearing jeans all day.
Hey, you never stood around in the front yard of your fraternity house and kicked the hacky sack around wearing your dungarees?
I haven't worn I've probably worn a pair of jeans like 8 times in my life. So I'm not a big jeans guy. I never have been. Never been a big dungaree fan.
Well,
what did you wear when you were a little kid?
I shouldn't say 8 times in my life. Probably jeans.
Okay.
When I was a little kid.
I was gonna say, like, sweatpants weren't really a thing.
No. But starting I think Gerbeau was like the last pair of jeans I had.
Oh, did you peg
Did you
them?
tight roll them? Ah, there you jinx.
Did I peg them? Sometimes I even pin them. I'd peg them and pin them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I had to go nuts. If you don't know what we're talking about, Gerbeau's sagged. As De La Soul said, I have every pair of Gerbeaus that ever sagged. And then you would peg the bottoms.
Yeah,
that's kind of coming back a little bit.
It kind of is.
The Mérité and Francois Gerbeau.
You did them with Z Cavariccis as well.
Well,
Actually, they were
that.
tapered and
Z Cavariccis weren't jeans.
Well, if you
didn't they make like a jean looking pants though? Like
all right, now you're getting over my head, but I'll just go with the AC Slater. And you'll have to remember I grew up with Chaldeans, and they only wore Z Cavariccis, and so yes, they were high waisted. And then
tapered at the bottom. So
tapered at the bottom and very MC Hammery. Like they were. I even knew those were awful when I was a kid.
So I went to high school with family, the fake Corys, and I believe.
What about the real ones?
They would take.
You.
And it started with, I think, with Ronnie, and maybe Rami did it too, and eventually Rodney, and of course there was the daughter Rania. But they would take that. Not
They were a
making this up.
classy family.
They were very nice. I was friends with.
I'm sure they
all
were
of them.
very nice,
Yeah,
but they reek of class.
Yeah.
How much gold did they adorn themselves with?
I don't remember the amount of gold. What I remember is that they would take their jeans to the tailor and they would have the seams ripped, and then they would have the tailor restitch them so they were already tapered at the bottom, so they wouldn't have to bother with any, tapering and rolling of the bottom of their jeans. They were tailored that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is classy.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is classy. I mean, yeah, anytime you get a tailor involved in anything, it's big time.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right. Yeah, I don't even own a pair of jeans anymore as an adult. I don't like them. All right.
What do you do your yard work in?
I go out there. I like to get one with nature. I go out there nude and dip my genitals into the sand to feel like I'm part of the earth. Tim, go ahead, as Crash did. Go ahead.
What's going on, guys? You're forgetting the most famous sports scene of all with people wearing jeans. Volleyball scene, Top Gun, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I thought of that often recently. What's the
Can you
mess?
think of anything more uncomfortable?
No, and also with all the grease they were wearing, but then that was an exercise, obviously, to show their bodies, and then playing with the boys and everything, and then he takes his motorcycle to the woman's house,
Kelly McGillis,
who looks fantastic now, and he and then he showers.
No, he asks to shower.
Oh, okay,
and she says, "No, I'm hungry."
Yeah, but
you made me wait all this time.
Why did they do that? Does anyone have a theory on why that happened?
Sex.
No. But why? Go ahead. You tell me, Tim.
It's sex. Exactly. Hardy's right.
Did they have sex right away?
Well, they were playing
crazy 80s, Fred.
No, they did not. They did not have sex at that point. Why did they do the volleyball scene?
No. Why did he ask to shower?
Well, because he was all sweaty from the volleyball game.
I get why that, but why was that in the movie? Like, why did they write that into the movie? Because he was cocky and she was telling him, putting him in his place? I mean, it's an hour and 25-minute movie.
To increase that sexual tension.
Okay, so an hour 25-minute movie.
You know what
say
it is,
25
Fred?
minutes of it is.
I don't mean to go
around.
screenwriting 101 on you, but it was a very Quentin Tarantino-esque moment. They're going to have some real dialogue peppered in with all this technical Tomcat nonsense. And what would you do if you showed up all sweaty at a girl's house and you're about to have a date for the very first time? In the real world, you would ask to take a shower. So they were just having some of that real life moment.
So we needed 10 minutes of frivolous conversation.
You know what,
followed
John?
by someone pulling out a knife and cutting off a limb. That's Tarantino.
Do a deep dive on the IMDb and see if Tarantino didn't consult on that script. Okay. I bet they brought him in to punch it up a little bit.
Well, in fairness, I don't want to embarrass you. I heard David Lynch was very involved in that scene.
There you go.
He wanted him to take a shower, and then he was gonna have a baby head on it growing out of his side.
So Goose was wearing shorts and a sleeveless T-shirt.
Yeah, he was the only one who did not go shirt.
Anthony Edwards, you keep your shirt on.
Yep.
Slider had sweatpants on.
Is that Rossovich? Rick Rossovich?
I don't know the actor's name. I know him from Roxanne as well. He was the hunky firefighter, but very dumb. But cute, but dumb. So sweatpants, no shirt. Also, I would argue uncomfortable. And then what is Val Kilmer wearing? Val Kilmer's shirt is off.
Yeah,
Is he wearing sweats also?
No,
No.
There's at least a few of them wearing jeans.
Yeah,
I can YouTube it now. I wonder if I put in volleyball, if Top Gun will be the first thing. Volleyball, it is not. All right.
Val Kilmer does have the shirt off.
Yeah.
It looks like
a guy's got jean shorts on. A guy with a mustache has got jean shorts on. They're all wearing shades. Okay, first they're playing football.
Now that's the new Top Gun.
Oh, that's the new Top Gun. All right, my bad. Yeah. Why can't I find the volleyball scene? Oh, here it is. All right.
That's corporate
he's
corporate blocking pornography.
They got the dog tags on. All right, here we go. They're very focused on the upper bodies. And by the way, Goose is not wearing a wife beater. He's basically got a t-shirt on. All right, I'm seeing 3. Okay, Maverick's got jeans on. The other guy's got jeans on. Maverick's looking at his watch because he knows he has a date. Val Kilmer has got. Oh, no.
So, okay, I think both Val and his partner both wearing sweatpants, no shirts.
Okay, and then so Maverick's the only one with jeans on.
Yeah.
Okay, because he had a date, maybe. I don't know why people think this is gay. I just think it shows the competitiveness of, our modern military.
Well, they were competing in the air and they were competing on the land. A Top Gun, at Miramar, Fred, it was a competition among these ace fighter pilots. So while they were training for combat against the enemy, they were essentially enemies against each other during their training.
I would like to think, too, out of the 20 guys in the bleachers, what their lives were like. That they were just going to sit around
Let's
and
go
watch
a volleyball match.
Yeah.
The 2-on-2 volleyball. We have nothing better to do in this hot sun. We're going to sit out here and watch 4 shirtless guys play, or 3, play volleyball.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. They just got Goose in silly shorts. They're just saying he's an oddball. All right. When we come back, the Super Bowl was last night. People around here are very excited, which is weird because what's done is done. It doesn't. I don't know. The whole legacy thing is very odd to me. And don't worry, we saw the commercial with Bill Belichick. We saw a bunch of stuff last night. We will get into everything as the show goes on, but we will return in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and...
grinding.
Start your
Got
day.
your finger on the pulse, Fred.
Begin your
Seldom
day
right and never wrong.
right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
I know, looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, the What Happened Last Night segment is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened, so change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
The Kansas City Chiefs were poised to make history last night in New Orleans as the first team to win 2 Super Bowls and then go back to a third. The first team in the modern era, in the Super Bowl era, to win 3 straight. Never mind your Green Bay Packers and what happened back during the.
I saw that graphic too.
Okay, so the graphic was up, and then Felger's talking about it last week. I'm like, okay, everyone shut up. Because if we're talking about that, then the Lions have won all kinds of stuff. The Lions won football championships back in the day. We don't talk about that. We talk about the Super Bowl era, and that's it. That's where it starts, and it starts there, and no team has ever won 3 in a row.
Well, but when you're talking about coaches, though, you can talk about Lombardi and the 3 with Green Bay, because 2 of them were Super Bowls. I think that's modern enough. Like, people, and I think people also move past that era. And I would also say that it was easier to have a dynasty in the 70s and all that without the cap and the players basically having no power. So, like, if you're a Steelers team, you can have, 14 Hall of Famers on that team, I think?
Something like that.
I think they might have 14 Hall of Famers, give or take. Or not give, but maybe take a couple. But you could never hold a team like that anymore. There's, no way that you could keep your team like that. But that being said, Oakland and Dallas during the 70s were packed with Hall of Famers too. So you had that going on. So it's kind of a deal.
Everything has its own era. Like, if you go back before the Super Bowl started, and that was the graphic, they won an NFL championship and then the first 2 Super Bowls. Technically, that was 3 in a row according to the graphic. But if you look at Lombardi's time, I think he won, including the 2 Super Bowls, 5 titles in 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive, but not the same as the discussion we're having.
No, but if you're, but not with teams, but coaches. I don't think that you can dismiss Lombardi just because he got in at the beginning of the Super Bowl era. But but whatever.
Well, the Chiefs, who had been in and winning 1-score games all season long, I guess fittingly were 1.5-point favorites going into yesterday's game against the Eagles, and things turned against the Kansas City Chiefs pretty quickly.
Hurts lines them up. They're looking like they're going for the tush push. Hurts falling. He sneaks. He's pushed. He's in. Touchdown. Dallas Goedert with a big push from behind. And the Eagles break the ice in Super Bowl 59.
My biggest bet hit right away.
That's right.
Right away.
Are we going
First touchdown. Boom.
Out of the 8 or so bets I made yesterday, let me tell you which ones I won. Coin toss and the over.
Okay.
That's it.
I won 2. I won coin toss and Jalen Hurts over 1.5 touchdown passes.
I had a guy who sent, you want to hear this? I had a guy who sent me this sharp betting guide. First of all, the odds were so ridiculous. They were not based in any kind of reality. Let's do this. So this guy, my friend pays a guy to give him bets.
Okay.
50,000 all in best bet on the under. 10,000 best bet on the Chiefs minus 120.
Loss.
10,000 best bet on Kareem Hunt first TD score.
I had that. Loss.
NFL 10,000 best bet on Travis Kelce MVP.
Oh.
NFL 10,000 best bet on Mahomes over 27.5 rushing yards, which he did not get. I bet on that too. NFL median bet on Kelce anytime touchdown. NFL median bet on Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions. I don't know if he hit that. NFL median bet on Travis Kelce over 59.5 receiving yards. Can't have hit that.
Kelce 4 catches.
NFL median bet on Xavier Worthy anytime touchdown. He had 2.
Yeah.
Chiefs total sacks over 2.5. I don't know if they had that.
Chiefs had
NFL median bet on Worthy over
2.
which
2
he hit.
sacks. Sorry.
So anyway, if you go by units, this guy would have lost you over $100,000 with his takes on the Super Bowl.
Good Lord.
And this is a man who this gentleman pays to give him his stuff. And the odds were crazy. The Kareem Hunt first touchdown, what were the odds you got on that? Just around what was it?
It was plus, 350?
Yeah, plus 1,000, this guy said it was.
Oh, my God. All right.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And this guy sends it to me, and he followed it. And he might have followed it around that kind of money, too.
Oh, Jesus.
He's a bit of a degenerate gambler, but...
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Philadelphia gets on the board first, 7-0 first quarter, and it didn't look like a blowout right away.
Shotgun snap, 5-man rush, blitz up the middle, long arching pass, near sideline, caught in a dive, intercepted at the 5. Cook got it, rolling out of bounds on the near sideline. Looking over his shoulder into the roof, he gets that pass picked off. Hurts has just thrown it away. And Cook comes up with the interception and the first Eagles giveaway of this postseason.
Okay, so, first giveaway, you never want to turn the ball over in the Super Bowl, but as we're watching the game, the modified punt there, I believe
Well,
that was
it's better than a punt.
Yeah.
Like, if
hit it down there.
You can't blame the guy, but if you were really heads up, you just would have knocked the ball down and made him punt. But, yeah, I mean, Hurts just threw it up. I don't think he was concerned about that being intercepted.
No, the story of this game will go down as the Eagles' defense. They only blitzed twice during the game. It was 4-man pressure for the most part. They sacked Patrick Mahomes 6 times, and they were forcing him into some throws that he didn't want to make.
And a shotgun snap from their own 24, rolling out of the pocket. Mahomes line drop. It's intercepted at the 40, and picked off by DeGene, who comes to the near side, the 30. Got it back to the 20, breaks the tackle, the 10, the 5. To the pylon, touchdown! Eagles have got a pick 6. It's Cooper DeGene.
White guy.
A 37-yard pick 6 of Patrick
They have 2 white
Mahomes.
corners. There's some name they have for them, but I can't remember what it is. The Eagle players have given them a nickname, but I can't remember what it is.
Cheap suit.
Yeah, okay. I was a little surprised, by the way, that Josh Sweat didn't get the MVP.
You see, I thought he was going to get votes too because that guy was everywhere. Why didn't he get votes?
Because they won on defense.
Yeah,
they won that game
Absolutely.
on defense. So I don't understand why they didn't give a defensive player.
Reed Blankenship's the other guy you're talking about. They called him the Exciting Whites.
Wow, what a brain trust in there. Get them in the get them in Campbell Ewald immediately. The Exciting Whites.
The Exciting Whites. Let's hear it. Put that on a T-shirt.
The
I'm sure they did.
Exciting Whites?
The Exciting Whites, it says here, yes.
I'm sure they have the Exciting Whites somewhere. That doesn't roll off the tongue.
Let's hear it for your capable Caucasians.
That's better.
What? That's it?
The Exciting Whites.
Yeah.
How about White Lightning? Are they fast? You know, he could do anything.
Yeah, Cooper DeGene, very fast.
All right. And at 17-0, you know, you're kind of watching in disbelief, thinking, "Oof, this can't get worse for Kansas City, can it?"
Now 23-0 Eagles before halftime as they had steamrolled the defending champions in the first half.
Oh, there we go. I'm going to get the tail end of that one. There is. They would go up 24-0 at the half, 24-0 at halftime, Philadelphia.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about it is that Mahomes was shook from the beginning. Like, all that pressure they got on him, because Mahomes, if the people are going to say he played a bad game, that's not fair. Mahomes was getting killed.
Didn't have a chance.
And he did not have a chance.
How many times did you see him not only get pressured up the middle, but run around, not just run around, he would like turn 360 degrees around trying to get away from these guys.
And I was like, why is he not running? And then I thought, Oh, he can't.
Yeah.
Like they were putting him in situations where they were containing him so he couldn't even run. Like run up field, right? Like, scramble.
Right.
So they played him perfectly, and, the fumble wasn't his fault. I mean, he got his arm hit from behind. That interception, that was probably not the most well thought out pass, but he was getting hit when he threw it.
Well, yeah, the defensive end, I believe it was Sweat, pushed Joe Tooney, the left tackle, back into him.
Yeah, so, people are going to go on and on about how Mahomes sucks and, his legacy is ruined. I mean, get real. That's not Mahomes' fault that last night. He was shook and made some passes that he normally wouldn't have made, like throwing the ball at people's feet and stuff. But all told, I mean, if you're going to give four-man pressure like that all game,
that was just going to say that was on the
all game. You're not going to be able to perform under those circumstances.
Come out after half thinking that maybe you can make some kind of adjustment on the line, and it's just there's nothing doing.
Shotgun snap to Mahomes, crumbling pocket hit, ball charged free, it's loose. The Eagles trying to get it, and they have on a fumble by Mahomes, his third turnover.
Absolutely brutal. So,
there was no way they were winning 23 down 23 with that offense this year. That was a done deal at the half. There was no way they were coming back.
No, the Chiefs would finally get on the board.
Mahomes racing away from him. Throws on the run across his body. It is caught for the touchdown. Worthy. And the Chiefs are finally on the board.
I watched that
34-7 or 34-6 because they went for two.
Right. They didn't get it. No, that was a situation where Philadelphia up 34 finally called off the dogs a little bit. We're good. Just make sure no big plays happen, even though one big play did happen. Make sure
he was double covered.
It doesn't go crazy. We don't need to do X, Y, and Z like we were doing in the first half. Let's just make sure that we contain him a little bit.
Contain him a little bit, and then just when we get the ball, we'll kill clock or just take advantage of them deep. Yeah. I don't think anyone was overly concerned when they scored that touchdown. I mean, I didn't start thinking, ooh, this is turning.
Never. That game was never in doubt.
No.
That's rare. That game was never in doubt. That's a throwback to like the 70s and the 80s where you had a blowout every year.
Like every Broncos Super Bowl they were involved in, yeah.
San Francisco 55, Denver 10.
Yeah, just when they were just super boring. Or every Redskins, and they were the Redskins back then. Every Redskins Super Bowl was a blowout. Yeah. John Riggins running for like 400 yards. All slow.
On 170 carries.
Exactly. All slow.
But no matter how you want to, go back and think about how this game was going to go and how it would play out. If the Eagles were going to win, you would almost certainly say, well, Saquon Barkley is going to have at least one touchdown. He's going to go for 100 yards. No. Saquon Barkley, 57 yards, no touchdowns.
And they sold out to stop him, seemingly, because he only got to the second level like twice. Really? What was his longest carry? Was 10?
10. Yeah, 135 rushing yards for Philadelphia.
Yeah, and they were mostly by Jalen Hurts. And so, and they put Gainwell in at the end. But, they just, you sell out against that to that degree, and then you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. That's a problem.
And in no scenario would you say that at halftime the Kansas City Chiefs were going to have 23 offensive yards. That just seems
first down.
Unthinkable.
But
One first down and 23 yards at the half.
One thing we didn't get to, and we're breaking it back to it, but is the first A.J. Brown penalty where they said he pushed off. They called offensive pass interference. You thought, oh boy, here we go.
Yes.
Because there's always a danger when that happens, you lose A.J. Brown for the rest of the game.
Well, also, like the officials are in, now you're going to hear about the officials all game, but they made up for it by making a terrible call against Kansas City after that. All right. We'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub.
A.J. Brown.
I don't want to get into a game of criticizing officials.
Well, why not?
That's a phantom call.
That's a terrible call.
A terrible call.
Yeah, and that was, by the way, we're Touchdown Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. That was bad. And you thought, oh no, here we go. Everyone's going to start bitching about the officials. But then they made a terrible call in Kansas City and everything kind of evened out. And it was a blowout. So
yeah,
they took it out of the officials.
I was very happy that we aren't talking about that this morning.
Yeah.
It was not something I wanted to deal with.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was just kind of decided and we all could relax, you know?
Yeah. Faux show.
So the conversation we were just having here was Travis Kelce, who was, along with the rest of the Kansas City Chiefs offense yesterday, non-existent. Just not a factor. Kelce himself, what did we say? He ended up with
4 catches.
4 catches for a total of 39 yards. If he were thinking about walking away, first of all, thinking about proposing at the game, which would have been a lovely moment, and I think would have captivated not just the nation but the world. Had he been able to propose to Taylor Swift after a Chiefs Super Bowl win, that was off the table. Is him retiring now off the table? Can he walk away from football after that?
The theory was, and I think it was Ian Rappaport that said it during the middle of the afternoon, that he was considering it, and how the Chiefs did last night would ultimately be the deciding factor. So to me, that means because the Chiefs lost, he's coming back.
Okay. Well, what about the actual game itself, Travis?
There was a lot of things going wrong. Can't just say that it was just the O-line or anything like that. I think it was accumulated of everything, not really going our way today.
Mm-hmm. If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, what are you saying about your offensive line today? If you're calling it a Kansas City Chiefs, and again, I don't watch the offensive line. I watch very rudimentarily.
Well,
I follow the football.
You can probably
but it was impossible not to see those four guys getting through the line of scrimmage and getting to Patrick Mahomes play after play after play, first half, second half, throughout the entire game.
You can pretty much tell, especially passing situations, Hardy, how the offensive line is doing. Jalen Hurts could have, set up a chair, sat down, and waited while Mahomes spent the evening running for his life. I don't think it's very difficult to figure out how well the offensive line played in either situation.
I mean, for a team that got by scoring very, let's say, an un-Chiefs-like number of points all season long and winning by one-score games, you would think at the very least, and this was my only prediction of the game, was it wasn't going to be a blowout. These two teams are going to play each other tight. There was no chance. There was no chance for Kansas City to move the ball. And they did have an answer or two on defense at times, but when you're giving up points and you're turning the ball over either in territory or allowing pick sixes, then there's no way to win. There's no way to win if you can't move the football and you're going to give the other team points.
It's interesting because no first-round pick in 18, no first-round pick in 19, no first-round pick in 21, and like they... so they were kind of almost until last year in the second round ignoring the offensive line a little bit in the draft. They took Creed Humphrey in the second round in 2021, but not you have Patrick Mahomes and not a lot of draft capital and not a lot of talent being put around him via the draft. So it will be interesting to see how this offense improves in the offseason. If it does, maybe Travis Kelce retires, but you still get the cap hit. But if Travis Kelce retires, it gives them some sort of opportunity to make a move. But it is what it is. Like they haven't really built up that offense too much around Mahomes.
Or the other argument, I heard this last night, is that Kansas City was living a charmed life. Think about all those one-score wins. You're 11-0 in one-score games. How often does that happen?
But it was their offense that was the reason they weren't winning.
Of course, but the argument can be made. Maybe they shouldn't have been there in the first place. Maybe they shouldn't have had home field advantage. Maybe if you lose 3 or 4 of those games, it's a much different story. Not many teams go 11-0 in one-score games in one season. So the fact that they were there was a testament to luck and Patrick Mahomes, and they finally met a team that was far better than them, and there was no luck that would have saved them last night.
Well, it's still, but the thing is, have they, they haven't drafted really anyone in the offensive line in the last generation of players.
You have Joe Tooney playing left tackle for you. That was a significant problem last night.
Yes, and so, it maybe finally caught up to them. Because the team with the better roster won, obviously.
Well, that's the other thing. Going into the game, I didn't hear anyone say Kansas City had the better team.
No.
Everyone unilaterally is the word I'm looking for, unilaterally agreed that Philadelphia's roster was far better, but Kansas City had Mahomes, and I'll admit I fell into that too. But the talent difference.
The reason why you
obvious.
fell into it, John, same reason I fell into it. They were in all these one-score games, but they won them all.
Yeah.
All right, you have the one score. Yeah, but do you win? There's Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, these guys, Xavier Worthy, are they all capable of playing in tight games and winning them? Yes, that's what they did all season. But Andy Reid summed it up pretty well.
Yeah, so Vic does a nice job with that defense. They played well. They've got good players, and good scheme, and they executed better than what we did. They coached better, starts with me, and they played better.
That's right. Fangio's a Super Bowl champion this morning, Fred.
Yeah, I was a champion. It doesn't. I put the head on a spike. I'll take one of them Chiefs. I'll take the head off and put him on a spike. No one come around. Where are you going, Nick, to celebrate? You going to Disney World? I'm going to the jungle. I'm going to find God.
Ant crawling on a razor blade.
I'm going to go kill.
Patrick, you turn the ball over a lot.
Yeah, you
obviously the turnovers hurt.
Talk about it, you pussy.
I mean, I take all the blame for
Flinch
that.
on every side.
I mean, just those early turnovers swing the momentum of the game, and then they capitalized on them, and they scored. I mean, they scored on the one, and then they got a touchdown immediately after. So that's 14 points that I kind of gave them, and it's hard to come back from that. And
You give me nothing, I took it. Mahomes, you're listening to me. With that haircut, get yourself a high and tight and shut up.
So no 3-peat for the Chiefs. Eagles win 40-22.
Yes, they're dancing, man. Yeah, there's celebrity with you.
What?
Oh, look at me. I'm a big celebrity.
Who's that?
Mahomes.
Oh, I didn't know he was doing a lot of dancing out there.
Yeah, he's out there dancing around. He's at those concert shows dancing around. I'm scheming and planning, and I took him down.
Who do you live with, Vic?
My demons.
I live alone.
My demons.
That's a good answer.
I live with these demons, and I take them out of my enemies. All right. We will be back. Hardy was, I suggested, I said, is anyone having a party? And Hardy said, maybe I will. So I went over there, and we can discuss that a little bit. There's a big video up on Instagram that we made. And then Mike Reese will join us for the final time until free agency.
That's too bad.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Tuncher and Hardy.
remember where I was when I first heard this song. I was driving to Cumming, Georgia for my shift at AM 1170.
Was that the classic country station format?
That was an Americana, format, which I was unaware was supposed to be cool. I ended up liking like a lot of the bands, but it was pretty country. Like they played bluegrass and stuff, which is not enjoyable music.
Marty would have loved that format.
He likes Picket and Grinning. He would have loved American acoustic country.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
All right, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. So, like 2 weeks ago, I just asked a generic question on the air. I said, "Is anyone doing anything for the? What are you guys doing for the Super Bowl? Is anyone doing anything?" And Hardy said, "You know what? Maybe I'll have people over. I'll ask my wife Marcy." And then the next day, he's like, "I'm going to have people over," and he opened up it to the show. And there's 6 people on this show. And 4 of them completely ignored the invitation, and only I went.
I think Nick was the one who probably pretty much flat out ignored it. Ryan, I asked specifically, and all he said was, "No, I have to get up too early."
Yeah, I have to get my sleep.
Yeah, because he's got to get those 2 girls out of his bed.
I understand.
Ryan,
he's a young man.
I think I was most insulted by Ryan's reply because, we all got to get up early. And he's like, "No."
But Ryan's got more work to do than any of us.
I think he is here first. But
yeah, but he's got to be funny for 4 hours. It's the thing.
Yeah,
I had to do all this work at home. Did you go perform live for 4 hours?
12 had a legitimate excuse. He's like, "Oh, you're watching the game? Not interested."
Yeah.
So he's not,
Plus the gas to get down there.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and plus the environmental impact of all that. Like he
carbon footprint
keeps me up at night.
Yeah, and then John was having his own party.
Yes.
Yeah, with a bunch of fake Eagles fans. So.
Well, they were fans of his. Hello.
Hey.
So did your wife piss you off yesterday with the rooting for the Eagles? Did you say something? Did you stand up for yourself?
Yes, of course. And
was she running around yelling?
No, actually,
Okay.
and I'll give her credit for this,
All right, very
but
good.
she had an Eagle sweatshirt on. She put Eagles memorabilia up in the room. I'm just like, all right, fine. And
that's fine. It's more of
you just shake your head. You're like, all right, fine.
It's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But that's nice. She's having people over.
Yeah,
she wants to do a little
great.
thing. But it's more of the unhinged emotion.
No, there was none of that. I'll give her credit for that. There was
Because
none of that last night.
I liked. I'm obviously from Detroit. I have some pride in that. I don't know why.
Yeah, but you're not screaming like a fool.
Well, that's
at
the thing
games.
is that I'll wear Lions hats and stuff, and I go to the games. But I didn't when they lost the divisional round. Hardy was real. Hardy had a right to be upset.
He was resigned.
He was resigned.
After the game.
But I didn't pretend that it broke my heart.
Right.
It is what it is. It's more the emotional reaction. But so my ex-wife went to a party, and so my daughter was out all day, and she came home, and so I was like, all right, if you guys aren't doing anything, why don't you come to Hardy's with me? He's having a party kind of almost based on my suggestion. I'm like, I'm going for sure. He's got kids. I'm sure there'll be other kids there, which, da-da-da. So my daughter goes, my ex-wife comes over. She's hanging out with my daughter. And then my daughter goes, hey, my ex-wife goes, hey, she's going to come with me to this party because she knows some kids there. I say, fine. Miles like, I don't care where we go. I just want to watch the game. So I go, all right, good. Because Mile very much, you'll be proud of him for this. Mile very much wanted the Chiefs to win because he said as a Jets fan, he doesn't want anyone else to be able to enjoy anything. And since I was so proud of him. And this was all his idea. He goes, I want the Chiefs to win because I don't want anyone else to be able to enjoy anything.
This is his own brain developing into the brain that you want it to be.
I was just going to say, he's your kid. Yeah. Good for you.
And he's and the older he gets, he's finally learning. He's teaching himself to be miserable for the rest of his life. Right. And not just in football, in life. The way he looks at things. But it was great. And he really meant it. He was like, because if the Chiefs just win, who cares? Their fans already have had it. I don't want another fan base to get a Super Bowl.
Right.
That's not good. And then I'm like, the Jets, Aaron Glenn could be a good coach. He's like, pfft. So he just wants to watch the game. So we get to Hardy's. First of all, Hardy, not a drop of snow on that driveway, on that porch, on that. And he's got a.
I saw the video.
He's out there in Cairns, so he's got some property.
Yeah.
So he is out.
I was
there.
very surprised.
Well, compared to like Newton, you got a lot of property. Like Newton, the houses don't have that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but
and just so you know, because my son does help me not by choice, but he will help me from time to time. Yesterday, I gave him the day off because this was too important. The snow removal. There's a way of doing it correctly and incorrectly, and he would have helped me. It would have been done, but it wouldn't have been done correctly.
You see, that's where you and I differ. I had the two boys out with me yesterday.
Well,
morning.
I was proud of Hardy's kid, his son, because Hardy's wife, Marcy, said, I put some stuff in the recycling, and she saw it was full. And she said, will you take the recycling out? And he goes, no, I've already done it today. And I went, and I actually said to him, good job.
My son said that?
Yeah, he goes, I don't want to. He goes, no, I don't want to do it. I already did it today. And I said to him, I swear to God, good job. I like that. Like now you're like my kids. You stand up for yourself.
He's going to be grounded till he's 18.
Oh, I didn't mean to blow up the spot. Well, he ended up doing it.
Yeah.
He just put up. But the way that you talk about him just like resigning himself to go doing things, like he had a little fight in him. I thought it was good. He had a little.
Well, I got to break that colt.
Yeah, exactly. He had a little fight.
You got some work to do, apparently.
And then I said like, oh, I go, way to go. Yeah, you stick up for yourself. And I don't think Marcy or he liked it.
No, I'm sure Marcy didn't.
No. I mean, come on. But yeah, I'm sure she was super pissed. I made a big. I went on and on and on about it.
I wouldn't let it go the whole night.
I just kept coming back to
Calvin,
it.
remember that one time you told your mother to go F herself? Right on, buddy.
But so Hardy, like, it's down to the asphalt now. Adam put something in this Slack chain that we have of Maserati plowing his driveway. But I will. Did you see it, Adam? Or did you see it, Hardy?
Yeah, I just watched it, and I'm a little embarrassed for both myself and Maz. That was not a snowblower-worthy event. I think Maz probably had the same feeling I did when I got up on Sunday morning. I was so horny to get the errands out that the fact that it was only 4 inches was not going to easily shovel that. You can shovel that snow, but I already got my mind made up that I'm going to fire up the blower. So you got to do it.
But the thing is that you went down to the asphalt, and Maz left just a coating of like packed snow on his driveway.
I think he's pushing down on the handles. You got to actually lift up a little bit. You got to get
that right?
You got to get the blade, down right there onto the surface.
You got to get blade deep in that thing.
I don't know what he's doing. He's doing it wrong. That much I can tell.
Well, I'll tell you, he's got a 2-mile driveway. I mean, he's off the road.
How long is your driveway?
No, not Hardy. Matt.
No, I'm asking Hardy. Well, how long his driveway is?
I don't know, John.
That's something you should know. It's not like it's not like a huge driveway. It's just he has.
It's
like
probably
a real house, like on a real lot.
Sure. No, I'm just saying
you don't see that every day.
You could shovel the 4 inches of snow, but if it's a long driveway, cut down on the time.
Like in Newton, it's like New England, right? Like there's not that kind of house.
Right.
That's like more of like a Michigan house. Like that's like a real house, like in a real neighborhood. Like it's a whole thing. But so immediately my daughter sees kids. She's whatever's going on with her, and she's like, I want to go. The second we get there, and I'm like, all right. And Marcy heard that. She's like, I want to go. I'm like, calm down. So my son wanted to watch the game, and my daughter wanted to stick by me. So I sit on the couch. I wanted to watch the game too. So I sit on the couch between the two of them. Or she sits next to Milo, and I'm next to her. And the two of them, Milo kicks her. She yells.
We're off and running.
My back hurts. I got to rub Zoe. I got to massage Zoe's back.
But you can understand that because they are 10 and 8, right?
No, they're 16 and 14.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
And so they're just the whole first quarter, I'm managing the two of them arguing, and then I finally got in between them, and then that solved everything.
There you go.
Then
There you go.
there's something. It's something about kids. There's a time where they shift into neutral. She had to get it out of her system. Because, in fairness, Hardy has his daughters. And his daughter's really, really nice, and she was really, really nice to Zoe, which made Zoe way more comfortable. But, like, I get it. You're in 8th grade, and you walk in, and there's, like, high school girls. Like, I understand. Like, you feel self-conscious. Because I am in a lot of ways a 14-year-old girl still. So I can put myself in.
Are you getting
those
into
kind of
photography now?
No, I'm in my emo stage, as a matter of fact. But I'll tell you, Hardy had the big setup. Mm-hmm. He had Chipotle in there.
Nice.
He had a lot of wings and all this other stuff.
Very nice.
A lot of people brought a lot of nice desserts, which I like. Brian and his family, they brought stuff from Sugar Bakery in West Roxbury, which, you bring Brambles to my party. You have lifelong friends.
I know what that is. It is.
That's some good stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, I think it was
I brought nothing.
You brought. You know what? You brought your spirit.
Yeah.
And you brought your vibe. And your energy. And that's
I brought a big thing.
Really important.
Yeah. So how late did people stay? Were they out of there by the end of the game?
Almost. Yeah. Before the end of the game, everybody had left.
Oh.
So that
Not you?
No.
How late did people stay?
Till the very end.
Oh. Really?
I didn't get to bed till 11.
I didn't get to bed till 11, but
I mean, the point is,
I had time to do all the cleanup while the post game, the post game was on, and I mean the house was empty, and pretty much everybody was in bed. I think I was the last one up, just doing a little bit of cleanup because I wanted to watch the post game, and I was in bed by 11.
Yeah, we had everyone stay.
So Hardy has this studio in his basement. Hardy's got a very nice house. He's got this studio in his basement. It's got sound absorbing stuff. Like it's a real studio.
Oh, nice.
And he's got rock and memorabilia, and then he's got flags from all the 4 majors. And then they are framing one thing, which he pointed out to my kids. If you had to guess, don't tell them. If you had to guess, think it's golf related.
Yeah.
So he's got the 4 major championships all represented. Because if they ever put the golf show, the Sports Hub Golf Club on TV, this is going to be his background. Would you care to guess what they frame? So 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frame, 4 frame, and then in the middle there is something. It is something that is not related to professional golf, but is golf related.
It's got to be a golf ball used. Picture of a trophy.
It's not, I'll give you a hint. You're on the right track, but it's not a picture. It's an
actual award he has won.
Very good. They frame his net club championship.
Oh, there it is.
And it's not a very impressive plaque. I would talk to the people at the club.
Do you know why?
Why?
I had to make it myself.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. All I got was the parking spot and a photo in an email sent out to club members
for
winning the Net Club Championship.
All right.
So not only did I have to point it out to you and Milo especially.
Yeah.
Milo, come here, son. Come here.
You play sports.
Yeah. You'll be impressed by this. The only person who has noticed it and looked at it was my friend Brian, who we went down the basement for something last night, smoked some crack. And he sees it and he goes, "That's awesome, dude. That's awesome." I had that made myself. I did it online. Mm-hmm. I got the Cape Club logo from, online and had them, put that on the plaque and all that stuff. I made it myself. Neither my wife nor my children have noticed it. And they come in while I'm working, all 3 of them, at least, once a day.
Okay.
Not one of them has noticed it's up there and mentioned it. They just, it is so inconsequential to them. Oh, that nonsense. And it is obviously the thing I am most proud of.
Sure. If you're in between.
Does anyone at your club know that you had a plaque made?
Yeah, I showed it to the GM and the head pro and everyone else.
Yeah, you walked in there and you said, hey, would you like one to hang up in here?
No, unless they're going to pay for it. It was like $40.
Is there even like a thing with like names on it of the net club champions of the past that
You know
you're
what?
on?
They've done so much remodeling there, and there is like somewhere, but they had to take stuff off the walls. So I don't think it's been put back up. Hopefully one day that will be added to that, that plaque and put back up on the
So were
wall.
you under the assumption when you won the net club championship
Yes.
that you were going to get a plaque, and then when you didn't, you just went home and were like in a rage and like ordered your own plaque?
I wasn't expecting anything at the time. I thought maybe there would be some kind of a gala, some type of celebratory event, which did not take place.
$150 a head.
Yeah,
He's not wrong though. Like even like at the tournaments at my club, like the one day member guest, they do a thing at the end of it.
be a
5Ks that you run, you probably get some like crap ass
like a
medal
medal,
at the end of it.
yeah.
There's
There
like
should be something, a trophy,
Yes,
a presentation at the
yes.
end. I agree
Because
with that.
if you pay at we're talking about country clubs, everything can relate. But like at my club, like I don't like love golf, but like if playing a member guest, like part of the reason you pay to play in it is they feed you afterwards, and they do honor the person that won, even in a one-day member guest. That's like just basically an excuse for like a lot of people to drink on a Wednesday. They still do that.
My guess is that most people who win these things, Fred, have won at least one other sporting thing in their life that they probably hold in higher esteem.
Yeah.
And they're not bothered by the fact that there isn't some memento of, say, a net club championship.
Right.
So I'm the outlier here. Oh, no, this is it.
What, they have their wrestling trophies from high school
Something.
like adored in there?
I have the only thing that comes close to it is a second place BMX trophy that I have somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's second place.
Sure.
This is the win. This
Right.
is the win.
Right.
Maybe I should have my mom mail some of my I do have some trophies. I wonder in ribbons from swimming when I was in elementary school. Maybe I should have them, her mail them, and I can put some kind of shelf in my bedroom as a means of seduction.
Yeah.
Like you notice these. I was a all-star in 1984.
Maybe install a spotlight to kind of highlight the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like the Yadros. I mean,
you know what?
Sounds like a
Accidentally, I've given you an idea to the office.
Sounds like a project.
Yeah.
Some uplighting.
Oh,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you, because my house has got nothing in it. Hardy's house very well decorated. He's got there's shelves everywhere.
Nice art on the wall.
I had nothing to do with picking any of it out. It's only my job to hang it once it's been selected and told where it's.
Oh, by the way, my recessed lighting now is starting to burn out.
Oh,
and I pulled one of them out, and there's that's not a job I can do. No, they're all clipped in there. Like I don't know what kind of light it is.
Those things suck.
They suck so bad, and I don't know. And leave it to my ex-wife. She's like, because she hadn't been over in that basement in like 6 months, and she like goes, "Oh, by the way, that light's burned out." And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Now and I pulled it out. I looked on YouTube, and I pulled it out, and like it wouldn't budge. And both my wife and her said, "You know what? I wouldn't touch it anymore." Like, maybe best you get someone in there.
Yeah.
So now I got to find an effing handyman.
I'm sure Hardy'd be happy to do it.
It's a whole thing, and I don't even know what size the lights are. It's like a whole thing. All right, we'll be back. Mike Reese will join us, and he can talk about Kansas City. He can talk about the future of the Patriots and what all this legacy talk, which is a little annoying, but all this legacy talk that is going on. We'll talk about it in just a moment.
Stay tuned.
Lamar, Toucher, and Hardy. Mike Reese is ESPN's NFL Nation reporter covering the Patriots. He's brought to you by DN Van Lines. Moving your home or business and need a recommendation from someone? How about a recommendation from almost the entire staff here at the Sports Hub and the Sports Hub itself? Yes, they moved the station too. That's dnvanlines.com. They moved me. Everyone loves Mike Reese. Mike, hello.
Good morning, Fred. Good morning, Hardy. Hey, John. How we all doing this morning?
Good, Mike. What's going on?
Enjoyed the game yesterday.
Yeah. Did
I enjoyed it for the defense.
Yeah, it was something to see. Yeah, it was something to see. And you saw, an elite roster take care of business last night. But before we get into that game involving the Patriots, all right, Deebo Samuel, I got three for you. So Deebo Samuel has informed the 49ers that he wants to be traded.
49ers have told him that it's okay.
Yeah, and that he can go out and find his own deal. And Patriots interest fit, what do you think?
So I'm sort of a no on this one. And part of it for me, guys, is after watching what we watched last night, talk to me about offensive linemen and defensive linemen. I know that's not the way it works. You got to also have receivers, and they need receivers. I think for where the Patriots are, the way I look at it is unless one of these veterans like Deebo Samuel come at such a significant cost reduction for what you're paying them or what you'd be giving up to get them, it would have to be like a discount for me to think go for it, right? Build from the inside out, and that's sort of where I'm at. I know that's not the exciting answer, but I've been thinking it through on Deebo and some of the other options, and I'm more convicted than ever after watching the game last night. The discussion should be more about offensive linemen and defensive linemen than before we get to receivers, if that makes sense.
But, Mike, this club has so much cap room. Why can't it be both?
Well, you'd have to trade for Deebo.
Well, you trade for Deebo and theoretically sign him to a contract extension. He's entering the last year of his deal. But this club has, $120, $130 million of cap room?
Yeah.
I think you could re-sign Deebo Samuel and go get yourself a couple of good offensive linemen, too.
And that's a fair pushback, John, I guess. And this is not great for talk radio, to be honest with you. I guess I go back to this. Like, find the next Deebo who you could have drafted in 2019 anyway, and you picked the wrong guy that year. There's another guy like that out there that you now I know anyone listening to this would say, well, the Patriots have a 2-decade history of not picking the right guy in a lot of respects. So I get that.
But that's
sort of where I'm at on it, John. But
so
I think
the uniform does? So the uniform can't pick receivers. That doesn't have anything to do with the current situation on over there.
And you can still do that on top of all the other stuff.
But I have said the same thing that Mike is saying, is that with receivers, you can find, maybe not in this draft, but you can find elite receivers almost every year in every draft, and there's a reason for it. It's because every kid's playing 7-on-7 and stuff, and everyone's a receiver now. No one's a running back anymore. All the elite kids play receiver. That's why in a draft like last year, you have Neighbors and Robinson. I mean, you have guys from the same school. Two guys from the same – or Thomas, not Robinson. Brian Thomas. You have Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors from the same school that come out and are dominant receivers. Like, every draft has some guys. So I have mentioned that too, Mike. So, okay, I'll just let you go. Cooper Kupp.
So Cooper Kupp, to me, I'm sort of the same as I am on Deebo, but maybe a little less in the sense of I believe the cost would probably be limited because this is a salary situation, right? They're dumping him or they're trading him because of the salary. So my thought on that is you wouldn't have to give up much to get him, would be my guess. Probably like a pick swap like we've seen in other deals. Amari Cooper comes to mind off the top of my head. So I'm not as worried about giving up the draft compensation for him. It would be what's the salary and how does the the injury history, age, and the fact that he's played half his games indoors, like coming to the Northeast. How does that all fit? My thought, guys, is, well, I wouldn't hate it. I don't love it.
I hate it.
You hate it. Okay.
Yeah.
And why? Why?
You're taking someone's old trash. What do you need Cooper Kupp for? An old injured receiver? And you know, I heard one of the shows that was at the Super Bowl midday or afternoon was talking to a guy, and he's like a quarterback on the field.
Adam
So what?
Thielen, he was. I don't know who he had on. He compared him to Adam Thielen, a guy who can come in and be the leader in that room, can teach the younger kids how to be a wide receiver, that kind of thing.
So if he plays, 11, 12 games next year and catches 50 balls, why are you wasting your roster spot on the guy? If you're going to get a receiver or trade for a receiver, get someone. Well, T. Higgins would be the guy, but which you just would sign, you wouldn't trade. But T. Higgins has got his own question marks, so I'm taking it now that you wouldn't want them to get T. Higgins.
Well, and so that one's different for me because I think that the age with T. Higgins he's younger. I would be more inclined to say just go for that one. And if you really, I don't think the Jets would do it, but if you could somehow get Garrett Wilson, if they have some,
they wouldn't do that.
That would be the one I'd say go for. So I'm not like a no on all of it. But that's those are just my thoughts on it. And I think also too, where you are in your development of the team, right? So this is our first year of Vrabel's program. They're more than a year away. I look at it like Debo and Cooper Kupp, to me, are guys like if you feel like you're a year away, maybe you're more aggressive. I'd be more inclined to look for. Remember when they got Danny Amendola back in 2007? I know I'm going way back, but a little bit younger, a guy who was closer to the start of what he was about to do than the middle or the end. I'd look for a guy more like in that category if you could.
Right, and then so even if they weren't a number one receiver, you could bring a guy in, well, because you're more likely to get a guy that's, going into his second contract, that's a second or third receiver that you could bring in. Because if you give all that money to T. Higgins, you can do it. But if you give all that money to T. Higgins and he turns out not to be a true number one, some point during that contract that might bite you in the ass. That's the only thing.
And Fred, I think that's okay. I think if you got to take some chances, right? So I think that would be fine. I wouldn't hesitate with that being the reason not to do it. But I know receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, like that's what moves the needle. But really, after what we watched last night, how could anyone not look at that and say, start building from the inside and then work your way out there? And I'm not saying you don't do receivers, but man, I thought that was a great advertisement for what the Patriots need on both sides of the line of scrimmage and how deficient they have been in those areas. And last season specifically, but even a couple before that too.
Okay, Mike, does last night change your thought on what the Patriots should do it for? Let's just say Abdul Carter is gone, the two quarterbacks somehow go, and you have Travis Hunter sitting there for you to take it for. Do you take it now? Do you take Travis Hunter, or do you reach for or trade down to take an offensive lineman?
Or Mason Graham, the defensive tackle,
or Mason Michigan. Graham, one or the other.
You're saying Abdul Carter's gone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So this, I'm going to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but whoever is rated higher on your board at any of those positions, just take them, because it's not one. You're not one player away, and you need other than Christian Gonzalez and Drake May, who would you look at on the team and say that's the blue chip player?
Okay, no, you're right.
Am I right on that?
There's no blue chip player.
But Travis Hunter would be number 3 on that, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you were just talking about building from the inside out.
I know. So it does go around in a circle a little bit. I guess I'm looking at it from a standpoint of, do I want to go for some of these older receivers and devote those resources, which I guess is a little different than the number 4 pick. I don't know.
Well, if there's an elite talent in the draft and you believe that there's no other elite talents in the draft, you take the elite talent. I mean, I don't think that's even if it's redundant.
I agree.
Yeah, you take.
If Travis Hunter's there, you take him.
Yeah,
Sure.
because if you believe, because even some people, I don't know anything about him, but some people have Abdul Carter going, later in the top 10. But Travis Hunter seems to be the only unanimous star, and if you believe that, and you think there's a huge fall off after him, then you got to take the superstar. All right, Mike. Well, we can't afford to have you on every week anymore. But when free agency comes around, I think that we could scrounge some money up and have you on again. So that would be fantastic. We appreciate everything you've done with us this season, and do not be a stranger, my friend.
All right. I love being on with you guys. And even if I'm not coming on, that does not stop us from going to a show. Let's start looking at some shows that are coming around. I think there's some good stuff, and maybe the four of us can get out there.
All right. That's going to be that's your wheelhouse, my friend. None of us can step in and have that kind of same effect that you do. You have your eye on what's coming to town more than we do. So
okay.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that in your house, and you're just gonna have to throw us ideas when you see something pop up on the calendar that catches your eye.
Sounds great.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Take care, Mike.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of the show.
Thank you. All right, did we get anything from these Eagle fans? Are these guys going crazy?
We got audio.
Yeah.
All right, so let's have some fun. The Eagles fans are really deplorable, and I'm sure that they were up to all kinds of mischief last night. And we'll investigate that coming up. Here are the headlines. knock on wood. But I never had it yet.
No, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
3rd and 16. Mahomes rolling out. Looking. Firing. Intercepted. Picked up by Cooper DeJean. Gets a block. DeJean is in. Touchdown.
All black. Jason Sehorn is where you ran out in the secondary, basically. You might find a safety here or there, but it was pretty much Jason Sehorn and then no one else.
Okay, so according to USA Today, there hasn't been a white starting cornerback in the league since Jason Sehorn. DeJean ended that streak, as did Denver's Riley Moss. Blankenship said that he was in a shell when he arrived at camp and that he took it upon himself to get the rookie to open up. The defensive backs began to hang out, including arriving at games together. Between their bond off the field and their performance on the field, fans began to take notice. At the time, there was a meme going around that showed a section at a wine store with a sign that said, "Exciting Whites." People use this meme to describe things that white people love or are known to enjoy. So it was in a wine section of a store, like crisp Chardonnays,
Sure.
bold reds, exciting whites. And that's how the exciting whites meme was born for the corners there in Philadelphia.
Well, it translates very well without the backstory. I mean,
Thank God. Now it's all different.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel much
Well,
differently.
your meme game is very weak, Fred.
Yes,
we know
well,
this about you.
That's because I can express myself with my own thoughts. I don't need to use
You don't need to
a clip from a movie.
Search what clip is going to completely
Cue
fill
the
my mood.
meme of the eye roll from the sassy woman. Oh.
Again, if you send the guy from The Simpsons from 1989 yelling at a cloud, I have no time for you.
Homer, why don't you just sink back into a bush right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Because-
With that very, relevant, if you want to talk about the zeitgeist, I mean, everyone's tuning into The Simpsons every night now. All right, and you only have, 40 years of material to go sift through to go make your stupid video. All right, well, listen. It was time for the Eagles fans to celebrate. So these are callers to WIP yesterday or this morning, or when are these calls?
Last night after the game, yeah.
All right, so WIP is the flagship home of the Eagles, and here's who was calling in.
John in North Philly. John, you're on the Eagles postgame show.
Super Bowl champions.
Yes. Say it again, John. Say it again.
Super Bowl champions.
It sounds good.
Yes.
That sounds really good.
Championship defense. The fact no blitzes. No blitzes. I'm speechless, man. I'm speechless.
I know.
Well, you're speechless because your right hand was moving. It's such a large, high pace.
Why did you call a talk show?
And
if you are
also,
speechless?
and why are you calling a talk show while you're doing this?
No blitzes. No blitzes.
I mean, come on. I mean, if I'm on the phone with that guy, I'm like, this is a Michigan State head coach situation.
By the way, you won the Super Bowl 7 years ago. It's maybe you could allow this for a team that's never won it or hasn't won it in 20 years.
Yeah.
You just won. It seems like you just won the Minneapolis Super Bowl.
Here's
The
why.
Patriots.
Can I tell you why the internet shouldn't exist? Is that, or social media really, is that I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is absolutely brilliant. I think the guys that did it are brilliant. I think everything about it is fantastic. Rob McElhenney, or whatever his name is, the lead guy on it, is so funny on that show. But now he's got this Wrexham thing with Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
And they had a video that popped up on my Instagram of him in New Orleans sitting in with a band while they played Fly Like an Eagle, like one of those New Orleans like, brass bands, and he's playing the tambourine, and he's sitting there very seriously, like playing along. Get off the stage. Get off the stage.
Well, first of all, it's the Preservation Hall Jazz Band. They've invited you to sit in.
You think they invited him to sit in? You think that they reached out to him? You think they reached out to him and said, "Why don't you come?" No, he got them. He organized it. And he organizes a party with a band so he can sit in with the band.
I don't believe that. I believe he was invited.
Yeah. It's the video said Rob McElhenney got this band to do this Eagle stuff, or had a party with this Eagle band. There was a guy.
Adam asked a good question. Was he at least tambourining on the 2 and 4, or was he on the downbeats? Was he on 1 and 3?
I don't know. You'll have to ask your chorus instructor. But I'll tell you this. Is that I worked with the guy who sued me that I used to work at the same station as.
I'm so happy because that's the first. The story you're about to tell is the first
Do
thing
you know
that
this
popped into
story,
my head.
Hardy? So, okay.
I know that you got sued.
Yeah,
No.
So the
You're
guy
like,
that
this is
sued me is a real moron and a prick, obviously. And he sued me. He sued me for making fun of him. And I had to $60,000 to defend myself in this lawsuit. And he was a big fan of the outfield. So he invites about 50 people to his basement to go watch the outfield.
Okay.
Josie and all this.
Sure.
So people go into the basement. First of all, it's in the basement. So you go in the basement, you figure, maybe they'll have a couple acoustic guitars and a guy will be maybe playing the tambourine. No. They're amplified with a full drum set.
Oh, no.
So they're sitting down there and they play a couple songs. And then they stop and they say, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special treat for you. Steve Barnes is going to play drums with us." So the guy that had the party is wearing drumming gloves.
Yeah.
Because, he can't blister his hands up.
It's like Tommy Lee.
And so these 50 people are sitting there going, "Oh, my God, this is a signed band that's toured the world. And now this guy's hired him to come to his house. We're all sitting here watching it. It's so loud. And now he's getting behind the drum kit and he's going to play along with them."
Is it Jim Irsay?
I mean, it's almost like the original Office. It's almost like the Michael Scott in the original Office. Like that level of cluelessness, that level of narcissism. That narcissistic personality disorder, which I don't know if he has, if you're listening. but it's almost like that. Like that
lest you find yourself in more litigation.
Because, yeah, exactly. So I would be a little put off, first of all, hiring a band to play my basement. That's like Jeff Spicoli after he won the lawsuit got the thing for the shooting at the store. But then it's bad enough you've amplified them in your basement. You've done everything wrong. But then you're going to go sit in and play drums with them? What an insult to the band and everyone there.
Yeah.
We're going to go watch you, jerk off in front of us, on this drum kit? Get out of here with that nonsense. All right, we'll have calls from WIP as the show goes on. But Ben Maller, this is interesting because I don't know anything about it. Apparently, Ben Maller, who we had on the other last week, He's good. He does the night show. He does the right thing. He has all his lunatic callers on and lets them go. It's kind of Feinbaum-esque. But apparently my name came up today. And I don't know in what context or anything about it.
It was toward the end of the show. John and I were sitting here, and I turned it up. John didn't hear it, but I think 12 did.
Yeah, so Ryan picked up on it. 12. Yeah.
So for my own curiosity, I'm interested what happened on the National Ben Maller show when my name came up. All right, so we'll have that for you in just a moment.
You're listening to
had many offers to become an insider.
Actually, he did the play-by-play on the Toucher and Hardy show once. They had him on Hardy show. I just want to bring something up about Fred Toucher. He's a single guy. He has these Yatra clowns that he likes to collect. He's 50 years old. I think we got to set this guy up with Lorena.
Okay, so that's unfair. I don't collect Yadro clowns.
Yeah.
My ex-father-in-law collects Yadro clowns, which are porcelain clowns of great value. And if you go back to my Instagram at Fred Toucher, I'm sure you can go back years and you'll find several pictures of these things.
Now, does he still collect? Is he an active collector?
Well, he's starting to unload them because he gave some to my ex-wife who tried to sell them to no avail. Surprise. And then for my 50th birthday, the gift she gave me was a Yadro clown, one that her father gave her. So as I've expressed to my children, she literally gave me garbage. She just gave me something hanging around the house she didn't want anymore. She just unloaded something onto me. So every
Was it a gag gift?
Which clown did she give
She goes, "Isn't this funny?" And I'm like, yeah. But it wasn't. Like, I didn't get it.
But where's the real gift?
Right, like, I just turned 50.
Is it
Like,
the one
I don't
doing
have
the-
any friends. Like, you're not going to give me
Doing
something?
the cheesecake pose? Is it the one? Is it the sad
No,
clown? I'm
it's
fascinated by the Yadro
The
clowns.
clown,
You know this.
this clown is holding a. I'll give it to you if you want it, because my son wants to smash it.
You'll get it for nothing.
But I'll give it. I swear to God, I'll bring it in tomorrow.
I would love to have it, but actually, I would prefer the content of you and your son smashing it. That would make for a great video.
Well, I don't want to do that because then everyone's going to infer it's like smashing it because it's my ex-wife.
Why don't you put a disclaimer in the
Why don't
front?
you-
You
why don't
display
I'm
it?
not doing that.
Why don't you give it to 12 so we can sell it?
Yeah. But if you must know, this clown is upset for unknown reasons.
Yes.
And he's holding a saxophone.
Ooh. I wish it was a trombone. Oh, man, that would rule.
But my kids are giving me the heads up, and they're like, Mom, for some reason, giving you a Yadro clown. She thinks it's funny. And I'm like, oh, no, she doesn't think it's funny.
She's trying to unload these clowns.
She just doesn't want it anymore.
They're sad because they've been stuck in that display case down in
Well, yeah. Well, so if you
Pennsylvania for all
don't
this
know
time.
the story, when I first met Ed, my ex-father-in-law, he had this office that just was like clowns. Like you just walked in and it was just chaos of clown stuff because he owned a bunch of McDonald's. But then when he moved into this huge mansion, he's not there anymore. He had this like mansion. He had in his office put a very classy case where individually the Yadro clowns would come in and they would have an overhead light kind of shine on that.
That's very classy. Yes.
Yeah.
Very classy.
And apparently they're worth a lot of money except when you try to sell them. Then they're worth nothing.
Right.
So it's something that intrinsically has value, but then when you get into the marketplace, it really has
So
none.
Blind Scott's description of you as a 50-year-old who collects Yadro clowns, not accurate.
Well, that's what I put on Hinge.
On the dating apps, yeah.
Yeah, that's
sure.
what I put on Hinge, but it's not totally true.
Okay.
So I am fibbing a little bit.
I think we got to set this guy up with Lorena because the two of them are both single. He's 50, Lorena's 31. A very big. This guy.
Are you playing matchmaker? Is that what you're
Who
doing?
said I'm single?
Oh, look at that. Maybe she's
I have
offering.
1,000
Maybe.
boyfriends.
Oh, she has a lot of
Lorena, you're
boyfriends.
begging for everything from everybody on the show.
Oh, is that true, Lorena? Are you begging for stuff, Lorena?
I'm begging every day, baby.
All right.
All right, let Scott hook me up with this girl. Shut up. Stop interrupting him.
Just sent you her Instagram profile, Fred, so you can. I don't know if you're aware of Lorena, but
okay.
I knew you'd be asking for it.
She is a very bright, cheery personality on the Ben Maller show, and
She's 31.
Yeah,
Okay.
Scott is out there trying to hook you up.
He's the only guy. This is the only guy
Oh,
since
yeah.
I've been single that's
Oh,
tried to
God,
hook me up. I
I-
swear to God, I don't
I
have
believe
one
that.
friend.
No.
Oh, yeah, they don't want that blood on their hands.
No. There's the last thing I would do is set you up with anyone that I knew.
Yeah. Like, literally, no one's even put myself in a position to even remotely set me up with someone.
No, not doing.
And I'm aware of why. They're like, I don't need this. I don't need this.
Yeah.
You know, all you're going to do is disappoint them. And then they're gonna go like, why'd you do this to me? And then it's gonna ruin the friendship.
Right.
They're gonna say, they're gonna see me. I'll walk in the room and they'll go, ew. It will be like when Stax came in, or Sticks came in
On Happy Days.
and the
Yeah.
woman fainted on the account he was black.
Right. Which you understand.
Which happened on TV when I was alive.
What, like in the 50s, though, right?
No, set in the 50s, but very firmly in the late 70s.
Maybe even 80s. That could have been 1980s.
It could have been 1980. Yeah, I think he left. I think Richie was still on the show.
Yeah, you got.
If anyone wants to send me more stuff.
Well, you don't want to date the best guy in radio. This guy is the most Fred Toucher. He's the most successful guy in the radio.
Blind Scott loves the morning show on the sports side.
Yeah, they don't even block their phone number when they call me. Imagine that, Ben. Like, Hardy called me once, and
that's because you're blind. They probably figure you can't see the number.
And that's why I got to team up with you and Fred Toucher, and then Lorraine.
Yes.
You could date Fred Toucher, so I could get close to the Fred Toucher.
See, Lorraine,
I do like his last name.
Toucher?
Well, no, he's famous. It's a famous
What do you
radio
do,
guy.
Toucher?
He's a big deal.
All right.
And then Ben accurately at some point in the call calls him out for it's like, you're just trying to incur favor with the show, and we're not doing this anymore.
I'm not done, but I just wanted to highlight her joke.
Oh.
Toucher?
Well, no, he's famous. It's a famous
What do you
radio
do,
guy.
Toucher?
He's a big deal.
Yeah,
A big Boston star there. All right. I got. Thank you. Enough sucking up. I don't
Give
know
him my number, Scott.
I don't listen. I know that you love the Toucher and Hardy show, and this is your way. You probably think they're listening right now, so you're trying to suck up to them. So bad job by you.
Well, that's a good job by Blind Scott. I encourage everyone to do that.
I thought that went really well.
She shouldn't dismiss that so out of hand. I mean, if she's based in L.A., I mean, I got money to fly her out. Don't dismiss that so out of hand.
Not an unheard of thing.
You're like fourth mic on an overnight show. Like you'd be plenty good with me. Don't dismiss it out of hand. At least when you see a picture, then you dismiss it. But don't just dismiss it out of hand. Please. Do you see what I'm dealing with, Jonathan?
I can see it. I see he's wearing.
I mean, this girl doesn't know me from Adam, but she's already dismissing.
I know.
Me.
Well, who is she?
He has these Yatra clowns that he likes to collect.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he hit
who
that
is
on the
she
nose.
to be picky? Seriously.
Well, I mean, she has every right to be picky, but just to dismiss, she has every right to be picky, but just to dismiss me out of hand like that. Yeah, do a little homework first.
The actor who played Styx appeared in 2 episodes in 1975. During the 1980s, John Bailey, the actor, shifted his talents and began a career in pornographic films.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This is when he began using the pseudonym Jack Baker. In 1984, he appeared in Let Me Tell Ya About White Chicks and other porn movies, including New Wave Hookers, The Devil and Miss Jones,
New Wave Hookers,
A New Beginning.
New Wave Hookers was in the AVN magazine I had when I was a kid.
And in The Devil and Miss Jones 4, The Final Outrage.
Well, it was outrageous to begin with, and so you just had to do it. The Devil and Miss Jones is one of the most famous pornos in the world. I've never seen
I
it.
got to catch up on the sequels, though. I wasn't aware that there were 2 and 3.
Because it's Deep Throat, Behind the Green Door, and The Devil and Miss Jones are like the 3 that sparked that. They like made a ton of money.
Debbie Does Dallas was in there, right?
I think Debbie Does Dallas was more just the name.
Okay.
But like these were like in legitimate movie theaters. There was a time in the 70s where with Deep Throat is the most profitable movie of all time. Not the highest grossing, but the most profitable movie of all time. And you can see pictures in like who's the writer that Paper Lion?
George Plimpton.
Like George Plimpton and like Angela Lansbury are like walking into Deep Throat. Like everyone went to go see it. So they made it for like $8 and it made like, $60 million in the 70s. What is this?
The theme from New Wave Hookers.
Oh, yeah, I never saw it. I just had the AVN that you know how it is when you had a porno magazine when you were a kid. You had everything memorized. In New Wave Hookers, you can almost envision how they wrote the font of New Wave Hookers, like a neon-y, very Miami Vice style.
Looking at it right
New
now,
Wave
quite the lineup. Tracy Lords, Ginger Lynn.
Oh.
Big names from 1985, it says here.
I wonder if they can still release that on the count of Tracy Lords was doing pornography when she was a minor, which didn't go well for the industry. I'll tell you, after watching those TT Boy interviews, that just seems like the worst thing in the world. To be a male pornographic star. That just seems like the worst thing. None of them are happy.
Unless your brain is wired like TT Boy, and then
TT Boy is the only one who seems to come out of that unscathed. And that's because I don't think he
ain't right.
He ain't right. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. He ain't right. All right. Bill Belichick was all over the place this Super Bowl weekend.
He was busy out there doing some that I saw on social media, but were part of larger network specials that were going on, commercial appearances.
Yeah,
Guys
he was
everywhere.
in a big commercial with a lot of stars, and let's find out what Bill Belichick's been up to. This, man of this John Wooden of our generation. Let's see what he's been up to. This leader of men. Let's see what he's been up to. We'll do that in just a moment. Give it a shot. Just because you can't vote don't mean you can't yadro.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
They'd buy it, especially after the NFL awards that went viral to like people that don't like sports. You know, Bill Belichick's got this 24-year-old girlfriend. He is parading her around, and there is a rumor. I cannot say that this is absolutely true. There is a rumor, though, a pretty good rumor that I'm not dismissing, that they are indeed engaged.
Oh, you see, I've heard something about this too, and this is getting out there. A lot of it has to do with what you see online with the ring that Jordan is wearing on her engagement ring finger that has diamonds in it or a diamond in it. And I mean, just look at how they're behaving. They're behaving as a couple. They're going to award shows together. They are attending official dinners together. They are together. So if it were anyone else in any other circumstance, you wouldn't even bat an eye to say they were engaged. Of course they're engaged. Look at all the stuff that they're doing.
Thank goodness Bill was able to pull the trigger. You know, you date too long, you wonder, you know, the woman's left wondering, well, is he going to commit? Is he not going to commit?
He's out of his mind.
Yeah.
He's out of his mind. And so all this talk of like, oh, well, you got a 24-year-old. No. So you got a 24-year-old that is going to be, even with a prenup, getting an ass load of his money.
Mm-hmm.
So he's paying for it. I mean, stop with the nonsense.
Wait a sec. That's not how prenups work. She only gets an ass load of his money if the marriage doesn't last, Fred.
Yeah.
Or when he dies. Or when he dies, if she can sit through those, 10, 15 years, she'll get out of it early 40s, a very wealthy woman. Very, very wealthy woman.
Well, that'd be 16 years.
Oh, that's right. So she might
not be 40.
She might be over 10 years younger than me. And again, just to put it in perspective, this would be like me dating an infant. A child that was born today, by the time they're her age, I would be Bill Belichick's age.
Yes.
So that's kind of the way to look at it. So you'd be a baby born in 2025, then would become my girlfriend 24 years from now. That would be the age difference between the two of them. That would be what was going on.
Well, you're not going to be able to make fun of Bill Belichick for this because this is really good. This is him on the Madden Cruiser. Now, I don't know when you boys started watching your Super Bowl coverage yesterday.
When I got to your house.
Artie.
Nothing before that?
No.
Artie.
Wow.
The Family Guy marathon going on.
Kickoff was what, 6:30?
So Fred started watching at 6:15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fox thought so highly of this segment we're about to play. They played it at noon.
Yeah.
Before the game.
No, I went and did stuff during the day. I didn't.
As did everybody else.
Yeah. What do I need to watch the
No one's watching
pregame
TV at noon the day of the Super Bowl.
No, I didn't care about any of it.
The Madden Cruiser, a Bayou adventure with Bill Belichick. Now, say what you will about the actual content itself. This is a chance for him to really show off his chops. And it makes you think he's made the wrong decision by going back into coaching, because when you're asked to voice a promo, this is when you can really sell it and you can let people know, hey, I belong in front of the camera doing stuff like this.
I've been coaching football for 5 decades, so I've seen my share of football towns. One holds a special place in my heart, New Orleans, Louisiana. The city was also a favorite of John Madden's. His family was kind enough to lend me the Madden Cruiser to explore his favorite Super Bowl city.
Wouldn't it be funny if he was like, this is the Madden Cruiser, but in the Philippines, where I just go search for 24-years.
We shipped the Madden Cruiser to Thailand.
Yeah,
because I've heard great things about vacations here.
He is the reverse MILF hunter. Like he's the reverse MILF hunter, and he just takes the Madden Cruiser out to look if he can marry young girls.
Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Cradle Robber.
Well, the girls call him, they call themselves the Gravedigger because that's essentially what they do. The first 24-year-old that shows him any affection might as well get married. Sure.
Yeah.
With some of my favorite people.
Look here, Mr. Bill Belichick, is that you?
Madam Cinnamon Black?
Bonjour, oui.
You are far too old, Cinnamon Black.
Yeah.
Cinnamon black?
Bonjour, oui, oui.
The venue is only part of what makes New Orleans a great Super Bowl city. It's also known for
This sounds like when you get on a cruise ship and they tell you about how to put on your life vest.
Yeah. By the way, he's wearing a jacket and tie through all of this in New Orleans.
He couldn't look older. He's the oldest looking human being on the planet.
Wearing a suit.
He's all old and fat and ugly.
No short sleeve shirts with a collar, though. Huh?
But aside from that, though, he's got a horrible personality.
Yeah, he makes up for the bad dress and the old look by being
a humorless dick.
It's also known for its entertainment, cuisine, and black magic. So hop on board. It's going to be a heck of a ride.
Yeah, black magic. Conjure me up a 24-year-old that I meet on an airplane and immediately marry.
So, not immediate. They've been dating for months. Months. So
Jesus Christ.
Let's see what type of content.
His kid's got to be. Well, the one kid's, got the succession plan. But, I mean, that family, I have to imagine the texts going back and forth in that family are not happy
Both
at all.
kids have a front row seat. North Carolina just hired Brian Belichick yesterday as the safeties coach. So now he's got both kids.
Did he take on Brian down there,
Yeah,
too?
Brian's down there now, too. So both kids have a front row seat for this.
Oh, man.
They're both with North Carolina now?
Yes.
I guess Brian's actually like a pretty gifted coach.
This just happened over the weekend.
Too. Steve was doing fine.
Yeah, but I guess Brian's the... Well, I don't know this for a fact, but people who know them, Brian's the more impressive one.
Brian just signed this past weekend. He just joined his dad last weekend. So
maybe they got some. Maybe his kids don't care, or
Okay.
maybe this is to make it up to him.
You're fine. You're not impressed with the scripted teaser. Let's hear him off the cuff. This is where I think he'll win you over.
Good.
When you take a road trip with
Oh, this is with Michael Strahan, who's for some reason also on the Madden Cruiser.
when you take a road trip with somebody, you get to learn a lot about them.
Yeah.
I get to ask questions.
Yeah, about philosophy, and you get to sign their textbook.
That's not a road trip. That's an air trip.
Same difference.
Bill, it's 85 degrees outside. Why are you wearing a tie knotted up to your Adam's apple?
Because I've been told that I
Turkey
should
neck
cover
is not
myself up.
Turkey neck is not a trend.
The young lady's telling me, cover it all up.
I got a hard one for you.
All right.
Favorite Super Bowl halftime?
I'll start with Super Bowl 28, where Jimmy Johnson came out in the second half and just gave the ball to Emmitt Smith and went right down the field.
What?
See, he's doing. Michael Strahan wanted a halftime performance. He's giving halftime adjustments.
Oh.
Ron Smith tackled the breaks away to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
I like how they're playing fun music in the background so you know it's a joke.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you would just be like, what's going on?
I'll tell you another one. We were down 21-3 against Atlanta, and I made some halftime adjustments, and then we went down 28-3.
Touchdown, Atlanta.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about halftime performances, dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like music.
Christina Aguilera. Was she 21 when she performed?
Not halftime play adjustments.
I'll watch it this year.
That's a good idea.
Well, that's a lot of fun. And and then there's this. I was at Hardee's and socializing and stuff, and I will give the people at Hardee's house a lot of credit. No one laughed at the commercials. They were ignored as they should be. And Dunkin is a wonderful product. Dunkin, I can't get enough of it. Every day, Dunkin. But so I don't really know what happened. But, they had one of those things where they're wearing the Dunkin suits.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick was in it, and apparently the woman in it was his girlfriend.
Yes.
Jordan is
definitely
off
in
to
the left there, yes.
Yeah, but here's a little exchange.
Because that's another thing that you would like in your personal life is the girl you're marrying to be honing in on your business.
The whole Dunkings thing with Kelce and Ben Affleck, the only reason why I like watching it is I full on believe Kelce Affleck when he looks at his brother with, like that venom and rage. That's like real brotherly stuff. I mean, he's a good actor too, but when I see them together doing stuff, I do like that. This thing with Bill, though. I didn't hear it last night.
Neither
was
did
on in
I.
the background, so
you guys told
we
me
can
at the
listen to
party
it
that
now.
it was his girlfriend. I had no idea. I mean, I am obsessed with it on the air, but I really don't know that. I can't look at her and go, "Oh, that's her."
Well, you're not going to hear her, but you'll hear Bill.
This ain't the Dunkings.
She
Where the
didn't have
hell
a
are
SAG
Matt and
card. Not for long.
This ain't
She
the
does.
Dunkings.
She does know about SAGs, though. Hello.
Too easy.
This ain't the Dunkings. Where the hell are Matt and Tom?
Forget them suckers. Matt Damon and Tom Brady don't have the heart of a champion. We got a new squad, Dunkin sequel.
Why is he-
Affleck's in-
with the Boston accent.
Well, they're from Boston, Fred. What do you want?
This is like a Kelce situation. He's turning it on.
Dunkin sequel. Affleck's and Bellichick. Dunkin!
Like a dark seasonal roast with coriander and slight balsamic drizzle.
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
What's going on with these commercials?
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
Listen, Dunkin's for all of us. America runs on Dunkin.
We need to rose Jordan's profile. Actually. Jordan, if you're going to get me, you're going to get Jordan. All right, we're not going to pay her.
Don't worry, I will.
Don't worry, I'll pay her. Don't worry, she's getting plenty.
She's getting...
Give us some silly suits. We got to put this on Instagram.
What?
That's the next picture Jordan's going to
So the concept of the Dunkin thing is that Ben Affleck wants to make a boy band to celebrate Dunkin. And I've never understood really the concept of these commercials. They're very successful. I mean, Jesus, the Boston Globe has a whole thing breaking
Dunkin's
it down.
selling the outfits. I mean, I don't understand
Look,
the
I love
concept.
Dunkin', and it's fantastic. And they're obviously this is a marketing thing that's working, and God bless the agency and everything else. I'm not putting it down. I'm putting Bill Belichick down. I just don't completely understand the concept of it.
What's this Metamucil in these Werther's Originals?
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
Oh, no, yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Discarded Ensure drinks.
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
Okay.
Yeah. Failed Viagra pills.
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
Expired Cialis.
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
Well, Bill is not going to be doing more media.
My dignity.
Is that Bill Belichick's dignity and connection with his real family?
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
Yeah. My legacy.
So no more media for Bill. He's focused in on North Carolina
That's
now.
too bad.
Yeah. Yep. He's going to get another NFL job, just like Aaron Rodgers was going back to the Jets. He'll get another NFL job.
You know what, though? I don't put it past a team a year or two from now. Pete Carroll can make it back the league for whatever reason.
Pete Carroll didn't win as much as Bill, but
he didn't lose as much as Bill either.
There's a difference.
Pete Carroll didn't lose as much as Bill. Look at Pete Carroll's records. Like, Pete Carroll very rarely was bad in his career. If I will look it up.
He was 500. He was 500 a couple of years he was here. So
if he was 500 here, in Seattle, I mean, what was his record? All right.
Your point overall is right. He never suffered through a 4-win season.
Exactly. Like there's a reason that Brady brought him
unless
in.
he did it with the Jets. I don't know, but
all right. Jets, he was 6-10, so first coaching job. Then he was 10-6, 9-7, 8-8, 7-9, 7-9, 11-5, 13-3, 12-4, 10-6, 10-5, 9-7, 10-6, 11-5, 12-4, 7-10, 9-8, and 9-8.
Wow.
So I mean, he very little struggling. I truly believe this. I would, at this stage in their career, rather have Pete Carroll, because Pete Carroll will come in and at least I know he can relate to players and he will have some semblance of success.
He has kind of morphed. Actually, he didn't morph. The league caught up to him. You know, when Belichick started coaching, it was keep the players under your thumb, tell them what to do, don't take any crap. Carroll was never like that, and the league has kind of come back around to his way of thinking.
Right, and I don't know what
different.
Seattle was like when he took over, so I can't say if 7-9 was bad, because you take over a team. But 7-9, 7-9, and then 11, 13, 12, 10, 10, 9, 10, 11, 12 wins in a row.
Yeah, 18 years, and the 6-10 year in his first year in '94.
Yeah, the 1 year with the Jets.
Yeah, and then the back-to-back 7-9 years and 10 and 11 with Seattle.
Yeah, and then, by the way, when he left New England, when he got fired from New England, he went to USC and built a dynasty.
Oh, 7, yeah, and then 7, as you said, 7 and 10 and 21. But,
Yeah.
but never. There's nothing that looks like 3 wins, 4 wins, even 5 wins.
Yeah, the year before he showed up, Holmgren was 4-12, Jim Mora 5-11. And then Carroll 7-9, 7-9.
Right. So, I mean, I'm not saying this to be sports radio, and I don't really care if you don't like it. I would take Pete Carroll. He's a year older, but I'd take Pete Carroll over Belichick. And I think Brady certainly took Pete Carroll over Belichick. They had the option of signing Belichick. They had the option of getting Belichick. They knew what they were going to do during the season. They knew before he goes. You don't think he talked to Tom Brady? We know that he talked to Tom Brady. He would have taken that job in 10 seconds. Bill Belichick went to the Jets to gauge their interest in him. I mean, come on. All right. Well, very good. I'll leave him alone now, until the next thing he does. But there you go.
Just wait.
It
won't take long.
Because there's no way they asked that for her to be in the commercial.
All right.
They were told she was going to be in the commercial.
How long before they start a reality show together? The caller brought this up. How long before Jordan convinces him to do a reality show?
I mean, if she wants to do it, he'll do it.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great... Who put that? Who said
Ryan,
that?
who's a frequent listener.
Ryan, you're brilliant, because he would do that in less than 10 seconds. And Dion did it last year while he was coaching.
Yeah. No, if she said, Bill, it'll be great. Okay.
I don't even think she just has to say, do it.
Yeah.
Bossing around Bill.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Bill, get on the floor and eat out of that dog bowl. while you throw money at me.
That's the teaser trailer.
That's the teaser trailer.
On all fours.
It's called Humiliating a Legend.
Just taking his
Cutting
ball
Bill
out of
down
his
to size.
Yeah, there you go.
Here, Bill, put this collar on.
Exactly. I'm going to walk you around. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. The Eagle fans were very excited. We have more of that on the way.
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
Sports Hub headlines.
Fumbling pocket hit. Ball charged free. It's loose. The Eagles trying to get it, and they have on a fumble by Mahomes. His third.
Terrible fans will go, I'm terrible. I'm not telling you anything out of school.
Well, sometimes they just chant things. I mean, I guess there is, something related to the Chiefs, but...
Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift!
This goes on for 30 more seconds, but I think you get the gist of it.
I'd have no problem with Taylor Swift.
And I'm guessing there were a lot of Philly fans in New Orleans when they showed Taylor Swift on the Jumbotron. And Taylor looking around like, what I do? I've been at all these games. What's happening?
Getting booed at the game I see because you're a Kansas City fan, but I wonder if Taylor Swift hears those chants and there is part of her that's like, it hurts her feelings. Because I think no matter how old you, like how famous you are, or how old you are.
It's been a while since she's been booed at anything.
No. Getting booed at the stadium, I get. Like, it's almost like a compliment.
Yeah.
Like, like you're a Kansas City fan. It's contextual. But, like, I wonder if it hurts your feelings, like, seriously, as a human, just to hear a crowd of people chanting, like, F you. You gotta, like, that's not fair to her. Like, that's not fair to her. Like,
Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift!
Look, what'd she do? She's just dating a moron. I mean, that's not, I don't make fun of Jordan. I make fun of Bill. I think
Philly fans.
I think Jordan's the big winner, so I'm not making fun of her.
Ryan wants to share that they are lighting things on fire as they're doing this chant.
Yeah, don't try to be Detroit in the 80s. You're not going to get there. All right, here's another caller from WIP.
Anthony's in Bala. Anthony, you're on with Clay and Ryan. Yeah, Anthony, let's go.
All right, shut up, guys. Get out of the way.
Let's go. Robbie E., you said it. Say it loud. I'm buzzing, I'm proud. Yeah. Say it loud. I'm buzzing, I'm proud.
I'm birds and I'm proud?
Yeah, eagle is a bird.
Them birds. I used to work at the hot dog factory until them robots came along, and now there is no job for me. You guys don't worry. You watch Universal Bacon, guys.
E-A-C-L-E-S. Robbie E. They said,
let's go. Anthony, when somebody's rolling like that, just get out of the way. Yeah. Just let him go, man.
Let him go.
He's on a heater. You know what I mean? Why am I going to get in the way of that?
But you did.
But you did. Your job is to answer. First of all, you're on the radio in the middle of the night. These are people that have no one else to talk to. Take the call. All you do is answer the phone. WIP, you're on the air. And then you get out.
One word for you. Feinbaum.
Yeah.
Listen to Paul Feinbaum. That's getting out of the way.
Just get it out of your system. I guess maybe they're afraid they're going to swear or something, but it's overnight. No one's going to, what do you think, the FCC is going to come after you because someone said the F word in the middle of the night after a Super Bowl? Like, you think advertisers are going to pull their advertising because the people are celebrating a Super Bowl victory? That would be great press for them. I'm pulling my advertising from your station because after our team won the Super Bowl, someone was too excited and swore.
Man, what a dominant performance by a dominant team.
Smoke job, Matt. Smoke job.
Nobody expected this. I lost all my bets because I did not expect such a dominant performance, and I don't care. Go Birds. We slayed two dragons. First it was Brady and Bellichick, and now it's Andy and Mahomes.
Yep.
We finally got over that hump. And I'll get off quick because I know you got a bunch of callers. Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, all they do is win. I was wrong. You were right. They are winners. Go Birds.
Yeah, baby.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles.
Say it with pride, baby. Say it loud and proud.
So there is something to that, though, as the Giants, 2 Super Bowl wins against the Patriots will always be painted as them beating the undefeated team. Mm-hmm. And then when that team had a chance to set things right, beat them again. The Eagles, as dominant as that performance was last night, and the short term, it's going to be about the defense. history is going to remember it as the two teams that beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl and then beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And that's I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that or that it's an incorrect way of remembering it, but I think that's how this is ultimately going to be remembered.
My son said this to me yesterday after the game, and tell me if this is right. So I didn't do the research. 2008, he was born in 2008. The Eagles have 2 Super Bowls. The Chiefs have 3, and the Patriots have 3, right?
Patriots won 3 times. Yes.
Since he was born, yes.
And then Kansas City's won 3, right?
Yes.
And then the Eagles have won 2.
Since 2008. Yes.
So half his life, he made the point that half my life has been these 3 teams winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And never in my life has my team won the Super Bowl, nor yours.
No.
But there's some 16-year-old kid that's a Philly fan or a Kansas City fan or but to a lesser extent, because it would have been very young, a Patriots fan who's experienced all of this.
Right.
It's kind of hogging it, if you ask me. It's not good for the league. Where's the parity?
Not good for it's not good for those people who were like, say, 8 years old in 2001 and during their formative years got a chance to see 3 Super Bowl wins and then get there a couple more times and then win 3 more before you're 30 years old. That's going to screw you up for the rest of your life.
Well, that's why there's people screaming and yelling about like the legacy and what that means. It's because that's the people. It's not people that were around when they sucked. It's people that just were around for the winning.
Correct.
Like this whole notion of Kansas City and what it means for the legacy of the Patriots. Who cares? Who cares? You enjoyed the Super Bowls. They happened. It was fun. What do you care about Kansas City and them winning Super Bowls? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Let's break, and I want to get to Kendrick Lamar, but I do want to talk to you about this because it's going to be a conversation for a year. Not here. But I want to talk to you as a Patriots fan, John.
Okay.
Because I'm a fan of teams that have won championships. I have absolutely no concern about other people usurping them in terms of their dynasty. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
But you know they love the sue.
What song?
Yeah, that song. Maybe I think about it.
Yeah, let's do this. So Kendrick Lamar performed last night, and both my kids and Hardy's kids. I was at Hardy's house. I went to Hardy's house because I wanted to look like a good guy, and
image rehab.
Image rehab, exactly. So someone was speculating that I went to Hardy's. What happened is that Adam told us on Friday, you need to make 2 videos. He said 2. We only did 1. He's like,
no, Hardy made another one though, so we got the 2. Yeah,
but Adam was look. They want us doing stuff on social media basically, and so you make the station a collaborator on the reel, and then they get credit for the views. So Adam was like, you guys should make 2 videos because you're going over to his house. And I was like, all right. So I went to the house, and then we watched the halftime show, and then Hardy walked us out and was showing me his flashlight, which was funny. And then I was like, oh, yeah, we're supposed to make a video. So that's up at Toucher and Hardy. And
Seeker Pro.
It's the Olight Seeker 2 Pro.
Seeker 2 Pro.
If you go buy one right now, you're going to get the Seeker 4, and I've held them and I've examined them. They're very similar, and there's some improvements, but they're essentially the same.
You were right about the stream. Lit up your front lawn like it was daytime.
That if you do it with no other ambient light, it's
unnatural.
It's breathtaking.
Yeah, it's quite impressive.
So Kendrick Lamar played yesterday, and he had the biggest song in the world last year with his diss of Drake. There was 2. There was 2 diss tracks, and Drake had one, and he responded immediately to one. It's a whole thing. You can read about it. But he performed, and the kids were enthralled by it. Like, it was the time Hardy had to turn the TV up. My daughter was super into it. My son was super into it. His kids were super into it. All the kids there were super into it. Yep. And people have made the statement. They're like, "Oh, it sucks." Okay, fine, right? And they're like, "I don't like it." Yeah, that's why they don't want you. They don't want you. They want people that don't watch the Super Bowl to pay attention to the halftime show. And he has not only the biggest song of the summer, but a highly controversial song, which the guy he's making fun of sued his record company for. So, even I, during the Kendrick Lamar performance, am interested when he teases that he's going to do it or not.
I want to make a move. I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love the sue. Yeah, that song. Maybe I think about it.
So I thought that was good showmanship. Like, there was this huge debate if he was going to play it because it's the Super Bowl. He calls him a pedophile in it. And Drake sued the record company, so he's making fun of Drake for suing him. Like, this is kind of interesting. As halftime shows go, you all filleted Bruce Springsteen for sliding on his knees towards the camera. And I don't have a problem with Bruce Springsteen. I thought it was corny. But that's entirely more interesting than, like, Aerosmith. Like, people bitch about the halftime show. He's being sued by another massive artist.
Right. And he went ahead and did the song.
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. Say, Drake, I hate you like I'm young. You bet.
So he names checks a guy who's got like 1 billion streams.
Right there.
Name checks him during the biggest performance of the year for any artist.
He just comes right out with it. Hey, Drake, I hear you like him young.
Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to Cell Block 1. To any that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him.
Yeah, so he's saying hide your little sister. If you go to jail, they're going to take care of you because you're a pedophile. I mean, this is going on during the Super Bowl halftime show.
This is the most watched TV show in the world.
And this was of no interest to anyone. Like, I don't care if you're 70. It's fascinating that he's doing this.
And if you don't know what he's talking about, 5 seconds on Google will explain it.
Or also you live in this cultural black hole where, like, you're unaware of Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Like, right. they couldn't be two bigger artists. It's going to be this historic battle where Kendrick not only diss tracks. This is a long history in hip hop, obviously, of diss tracks. For those who don't know, and responding to them, Jay-Z and Nas and Biggie and Tupac and all these things. It's been going on since Kool Mo D and LL Cool J, where Kool Mo D ran over the Kangol with his car.
Yep.
So Kendrick we got mad at Drake, released a diss track. Drake came back with a diss track, and like within an hour, this "They Not Like Us" song comes out. Not only is it calling Drake a pedophile and like really going after him, it becomes the biggest song of the year. So this is like Nas doing Ether. Oh, no one's going to care. But it's like Nas, if you don't like it, you don't like it. But it's like Nas doing Ether, like going after Jay-Z during the Super Bowl halftime show.
To any that tuck torment in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from them. Waka got a weird case, why I see around. Certified lover boy, certified. I'm on them tough. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably a minor.
Yeah, so he says you're trying to strike a chord, it's probably a minor. Mm-hmm. And yet everyone's complaining. What did you expect him to do? Not do his songs? He had a big dance thing happening. Serena Williams, I found out this morning, was up there. I had no idea.
Yep.
People love SZA. She came up on stage. These people are playing stadiums this year. I'm taking my daughter. It's like $800 a ticket to go see this. They're playing stadiums all around the country. And then he performs, and they're like, it's the worst performance ever. How?
Now, you see, this is what I like about and respect about it, even though I don't listen to it on my own, and I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it's subversive and it's dangerous, which is what rock and roll used to be.
I know.
Now, if you get a rock and roll band up there doing a halftime show, it's completely safe. It's Bruce Springsteen and Little Steven singing about the guacamole. It's, Red Hot Chili Peppers coming out there with Bruno Mars, and they're not doing anything that's going to make people shudder or cover their eyes or cover their ears. No, it's completely safe. So they are embodying this whole image that rock and roll used to have, and the thing that made you first fall in love with it, that it doesn't really have anymore. Or I don't know what act you could put out there that would do anything close to this compelling. It's compelling. And yeah, just because I don't understand it doesn't mean it's not cool. I'm like, oh, they're doing something pretty cool up there. I don't get it all, but I understand that it's something hipper than anything I would have come up with.
You had the right word there, Hardy, subversive. Like, if you go back and watch it a second time and watch it through that lens of subversion and watch it through that lens of social commentary, there's a lot going on with the character that Samuel L. Jackson was playing, and I feel like there's that piece of it upset a lot of people. Because
people could not have been more upset that Samuel L. Jackson was dressed up like Uncle Sam.
You know what? Then good, because as Hardy just put it very well, your job as an artist is to upset some people.
Push boundaries. Yes. Make people think. That's the point.
Right. And if you don't agree with it, that's kind of the point.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, you were that way too. Like, right? Like, you might not be that way now, but there was a time of your life that you were that way. Like, you wanted to push against the establishment. You wanted to be subversive. That's what you wanted in your music. That's what you wanted in your art.
Now, if what you want is just somebody who is so overflowing with talent and showmanship and performance, well, you got that a couple of times over the years, but those people are less than generational talents. Prince is the only one I can think of.
Prince and Bruno Mars.
Prince went up there and like, I'm going to play songs, I'm going to play some of my own, I'm going to play some others, and it's going to kill. And I'm not going to do anything that is going to raise eyebrows or I'm going to shock people with my pure talent. They tried it with Madonna. That sucked. Well, it was comical. Yeah. They tried it with Katy Perry. All right, there was some spectacle to it, but it wasn't anything that's going to blow you away. So if you're not going to be able to do it with just raw talent, then do it with the messaging. Do it with the spirit of it or the attitude of it. That's what it's got. It's just overflowing with attitude. And a lot of it is F you, which is cool.
Yes. And it's also what a lot of people like. It's what he does. Yes. Yeah. Prince was able to get up with a guitar and a microphone and captivate the world. He's Prince.
Right.
As you said, it's not even a generational talent. It's like he's the guy that can do that.
Yeah.
But you know what sucked? Maroon 5. They were terrible and corny. That was bad. He has an Epiphone tattooed on him in a very big way. He took his shirt off at the end. They're a horrible band. That's terrible. It's safe. It's bland. They play it at the Container Store. That's what's garbage.
I love the Container Store.
I was there for the first time.
Sure you did.
Isn't it nice?
Yes.
I bought a bunch of stuff with.
Hell yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Pat, go ahead. Patrick.
Fred.
What's up?
John.
Yes.
Rob.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you from the Rust Belt. This win was for America. We needed the Chiefs to lose. I can't stand Brady winning 500 Super Bowls, Mahomes winning 500 Super Bowls. My wife and I were going to boycott the game. We decided to watch the first half, and they were just kicking ass, and it was awesome. I love it. Hey, John.
Yeah.
Maine and Bryant are going to be the 2 top seeds in the American.
All right, who cares?
He's right. He's right.
Mike, go ahead.
I get the subversion of Drake and everything. I was just curious what you thought about the fact that it was hard to actually understand the lyrics.
You know,
what about
I understand.
subtitles or something.
Yeah. I got that too. Hardy's has a big subwoofer in his house, but the thing is that like my kids were singing along with the songs, so if you know the songs,
that helps.
Yeah, right. Like, so it's how old are you, Mike?
I'm 44.
Yeah, so like it's not for us, right? Like it's for
No.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't for me. I get the subversion, the whole rock and roll point, all that was great. It was just if I'm not aware of all the songs and all the words, I'm an old man. I couldn't understand it.
You're not an old man.
And you're at 44, I would second that. You're not an old man, but the fact that I couldn't understand the words doesn't make it different from any other TV show that I watch. I had to watch Landman. I had to watch Yellowstone with the subtitles on. What'd he say?
Yeah.
What?
Right.
Now you're slow down.
But Mike, you have a point.
Landman,
Like
nice.
if you were experiencing Kendrick Lamar for the first time, yeah, like he's rhyming really fast. It's hard to understand. I understand.
Very skilled rapper though.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant. He's a brilliant rapper.
Really? Landman's not any good?
It's not what I thought it was going to be.
No, you see all those clips and you're like, oh, this looks decent.
Billy
No?
Bob Thornton is great, but is too much relationship stuff, and it's once again you're getting sold a bunch of crap.
You want to hear for the first
Tyler
time in my
Sheridan
life
selling you stuff.
For the first time in my life, I have this. I have a favorite actor and a favorite actress.
Oh.
My favorite actor is Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay.
And my favorite actress is Jennifer Lawrence. I
Yeah,
have
you
a
were
favorite
talking-
actor
yeah.
and a favorite actress. For the first time in my entire life.
What has Billy Bob Thornton done lately that makes you
Nothing.
Okay.
But his performance in Bad Santa is my favorite performance. It's funny because it's whatever movie. His performance in Bad Santa might be my favorite acting performance I've ever seen.
I don't blame you for saying so, and it's one of those ones. Go back and watch it and remember that he's actually doing lines from a script. It's like Jack Lemmon, where you go back and watch, you're like, holy crap, he actually had to memorize those words, and then he spit them out like that. And Billy Bob Thornton does the same thing in Bad Santa.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he's actually just reciting lines.
Yeah, I watched that with my kids, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's good. Like, he's making this character, like, so multidimensional. Like, it's not just, like, a clowny, funny, drunk loser. He's, like, adding, like, layers to it, and, like, you have empathy for the character, and he is the reason for that. It's not the script. It's him. So, anyway, the people that are complaining about Kendrick Lamar is ludicrous. And actually good. Good for you. Complain about it. It makes it more interesting for everyone else. But I don't have the notion that I have to be placated. You just want to be placated. Eddie Trunk will not be happy with that performance. I will tell you that now.
Must listen to this afternoon.
From 2 to 5, or no, 3 to 5, on the channel that they
Trunk
gave up
Nation.
on. They gave up on XM. You listen to Eddie Trunk, he will not be happy. Because he says he acts like rock is like American, like Native American. and he'll be like, and they don't even look at us anymore. Like they won't. I mean, like why don't? I mean, like hello, like I mean, you got this guy rapping. There's not even a band. And then he'll go on and on and on and on and on about it.
It'll be the first hour.
First hour.
Whole show.
I mean, he might even do who would you like to see play the halftime show?
No.
Who
got
did Lou Grant sing for? Was it Foreigner?
Yeah, Foreigner.
He's like, Lou Grant has the best voice of all time. Why is he not doing it?
Right. He'd go out there and do Midnight Blue.
It'll be dead serious about it. That's the best part of it.
Yeah.
Was that a
Lou Grant has the best voice of all time.
Yeah.
Lou Grant and Foreigner should be part
Lou
of
Grant
the
was from the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
2026.
Not part of the...
Yes, they should be
not part of it. Yeah. The whole thing. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Midnight Blue was a legit good song. REM used to cover that.
But was that solo or was that Foreigner?
Solo.
Okay.
All right, I do want to talk to John about this whole legacy discussion.
Okay.
So instead of email, I want to do that. Let's.
But I have 19 emails from Sarah and Everett.
I have a couple as well.
Same for tomorrow. I'm very interested in what Sarah from Everett, the negative backhanded thing she has to say about me. All right, we'll be back.
Toucher and Hardy.
All right. So I don't want to do this a lot because I don't care.
Yes.
But there is
very hard stance on that. Yes.
There is this notion of Patriot fans, obviously, that did not want Kansas City to win yesterday because somehow they would usurp in people's minds the Patriots as being the greatest team of all time. Now, it's an interesting debate, but that's a debate. I don't know why you have a personal stake in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. For me, and I assume this is where you're going to ask me my opinion of this as a Patriots fan. For me, I didn't really care about Kansas City winning their third in a row. The Patriots have won 6 of them. There have been other teams that have had short runs like this, like Dallas won 3 in 4 years. Pittsburgh won 4 in, I think, 6 years in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh's won as many Super Bowls as the Patriots have. So it's more close. You could debate that one way or another, but it's not a legacy that absolutely needs protecting. Patriots are one of the best franchises in NFL history, but not far and away the best. My protection, if you want to call it that, is more singular, the Brady Mahomes thing. I mean, I watched Brady from the time he was drafted to the time he left, and I've always thought he was the best quarterback I've ever seen and the best quarterback in the history of the league. The whole Mahomes comparison that started coming along, that I was more protective of. I still think Brady's better than Mahomes. Brady never got blown. But these are the comparisons I'm making. Brady never got blown out in a Super Bowl. He was better than Mahomes has been in these games. But as far as team-wise, that doesn't bother me as much.
Yeah, and the thing is that, is more, I would think, a fun debate, right? Who's better? It's not like something that I would take.
Dallas won a lot of them. San Francisco won a lot of them. Pittsburgh won a lot of them. It's not.
Because I'm a Cardinal fan, and outside of the Yankees, the Cardinals have the most World Series titles of any team. And, they'll never catch the Yankees. But here's the deal, is that, when the Dodgers, who will win more than 11 before the Cardinals win another one because of the economics of baseball and how it's destroying the game. And by the way, they're not going to play for a year. So hold on to your hats because Manfred's already talking about putting a salary cap in, which they absolutely need. And
at this point, they also need deferred payment things.
It's insane.
Yeah.
The economics of baseball are insane. You can pay you can pay someone as much as you want, and you can pay it over as long a term as you want. Remember when Ilya Kovalchuk did that? Yeah. In the NHL, and they immediately stopped it.
He was making like $5 the last 4 years of his contract, so the average annual value was mitigated. The NHL correctly said, this is ridiculous, we're changing the rule.
So not only is there a massive economic difference in baseball, but also you don't have to pay the guys right away, so whatever. But I'm a Cardinal fan, and it didn't even occur to me until now that when the Dodgers win the World Series, they have 9. They will ultimately pass the Cardinals as the second most World Series. And I could care less. Could care less. I don't care. That doesn't bother me. The thing is this. If you lived through it and enjoyed it, then that is your reward. Now, the sports debate portion of it is more fun than something that I would take personally or protect.
We were talking about ages of Patriots fans, and I think that matters when you're discussing this. If Patriots fans weren't around when they were terrible, like I was, your only perspective is, well, they were the best team ever, and that's not the case. They were abysmal in the early 90s. Bad for long periods of time.
A lot of this had to do with the fact that the Chiefs were going to, three-peat. And that was going to, a lot of the debate was going to hinge on that. That's something the Patriots could, never did. I think it was Cattles who said it one day, and it's so obvious, and I'm sure it's been mentioned before, and it's staring you right in the face, but I never thought about it. The Patriots should have won 3 Super Bowls in a row.
If they play Malcolm Butler, they do win 3 in a row.
All you got to do is play Malcolm Butler against the Eagles, and they win 3 in a row.
Yep.
And that just kind of sticks in the craw, too, because then as a Patriots fan, you have to also blame Bill Belichick for the reason why you don't have that first, and all the Chiefs would be doing is matching you had they won their third in a row.
And also, it puts more emphasis on 2007 when you could have had a perfect season and just erased any debate at all.
Exactly.
Like you win that Super Bowl, there's not the helmet catch.
Then you win in 3 different eras. You win 3 different ways,
and you went undefeated, and that's impossible. And like, there's no debate that that's the greatest team of all time.
Another great one, Fred. Though with those 2 losses sprinkled in there, there's always room for debate. But people, like you said, they don't want to have an interesting sports debate. I challenge you to a sports debate, Fred, about this. And no, they just want to take it personally and somehow like defend the wall.
But again, there are certain people who are older aren't in the mood for knockdown dragouts like I am. Because we've seen the highs and the lows.
Right.
All these people that grew up with this, we should have won this one and we should have won that one, but that proves that the Patriots are the best team of all time. Well, take the overall body of work. That's all I'm saying.
But it's more and I didn't want Kansas City to win because they annoy me. Kelce annoys me. The whole thing around it annoys me. Their fans don't even care anymore. Like, it's enough with them. But I don't understand Patriots fans taking it personally.
Right.
Like, in this jubilation that they didn't win, Kansas City didn't win, based on the fact that now the Patriots dynasty kind of stands out a little bit more. Yeah, that we were saved that. At least he looked sad the whole game.
Just do a little dance. Make a little love.
I don't care about Taylor Swift. I don't know. I understand why she got booed because it's all a Philly crowd and they were booing her because she's a Kansas City fan. But I don't
Taylor Swift.
I don't understand the hate of Taylor Swift. But I can tell you this: I don't like that Kelce at all.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I'm getting that from you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you?
No, no.
I hate the whole thing. We represent and honor every single veteran that went to war for us in World War I.
What's good? What's good is not being an idiot. No, look, Rob Gronkowski, who he gets compared to frequently because of his personality, Gronk was at least somewhat real. This guy, has a switch.
I don't even think it's the personality; it's the position. That's the only reason why they get compared.
Yeah, well, Gronkowski was also super dumb, and that made it funny.
That was my point.
Yeah,
I think Kelce is not as smart as he thinks he is.
I can explain to you what the problem with Kelce is, and some of it's not even his fault. Watching this, it's like when Martha Stewart got convicted, and her brand went from 20 to 2. You just lost a lot of your stock ain't worth nearly as much as it was because there's a burnout, and whoever's representing them needs to go everyone slow down. Maybe do one thing, do 2 things, do as many commercials as you can get your hands on. That's easy money. But in terms of being a media personality, maybe focus on 1-2 things.
Let me hear you say hell yeah.
No, we're going to be deprived of that moment this year. No parade.
Kansas City!
No one did anything annoying last night, to my knowledge. I mean, Sirianni's an annoying guy, but he just went all Jesus on everyone.
Yeah, he did. I didn't see that coming.
Well, he's a big crier, too.
Yeah. He cried. Did he cry during the anthem? I heard people talking about it.
Yeah, he was crying during the anthem.
Did you see the post-game?
Which is ridiculous.
Did you see the post-game interview? You know who was standing right behind him? With his face full to the camera? Dom.
Oh, jeez.
There he was, right there over Sirianni's left shoulder.
They love him because his name's Dom. Dom needed to be there to protect him. Do you know the amount of...
He was.
By the way, Trump
2
was there.
feet behind him.
By the way, the president was there. You need Dom.
I know.
Everything is going to... Thank you for bringing that up. Dom is the security guard that everyone loves because he got into it with someone at a game.
Yep.
The notion that he needs to be around them when there is a sitting president of the United States there's more collected wealth in that building than you could ever imagine. The idea that it's that bodyguard is going to do anything. There's 75 snipers with their guns like cocked and ready to go
Shoot
ballistic.
anything.
Shoot anything that moves.
He was 18 inches behind Sirianni when he did the interview.
God!
I mean, anyone can get a hold of the video. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Look, if Sirianni goes out to dinner and Dom's with him, in just in case someone gets out of line.
Sure, that's different.
That
French
I understand.
Quarter, that's fine.
Right.
Yes.
Like, yeah, if you're walking around the French Quarter and you want to bring a bodyguard with
right.
you, like, I understand. Even though A.J. Brown was just, like, hanging out, I guess. I guess Brady was out, too, without anybody, really.
Interesting.
But which I respect. But this, yeah. Like, I understand, like, if you don't want to be hassled and you have a bodyguard because you're super famous and, like, people are weird, like, I get it. But that's so funny that, like, in the Super Bowl post game on the field,
he's right there.
The collective. And by the way, there was just a big tragic event in New Orleans preceding this at Mardi Gras. I mean, did you see the security measures that they had up there?
Yes.
I mean, come on,
yes.
Dom's gonna stop the guy from running the field. But I guess there was a guy with the Palestinian flag.
Oh, I saw the video of this. Yes,
and like I don't think it made TV, but he was out there for like quite some time before they figured out that he wasn't part of the halftime show.
Yeah. Well, he didn't run across the middle of the field. He was low in the corner. He didn't get out.
I thought he got up on stage. Okay, I don't know.
I don't think he got up on
see
stage.
the video, but anyway, there's this guy running around with a Palestinian flag that apparently had quite some time to get around there. All right, very good. We'll be back with the stack in just a moment. Kind of looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Hardy, what do you got to end the show?
I'm sure a lot of people ate pizza yesterday for the Super Bowl. Boston.com recently kind of scratched their head and said, there's a lot of places called either House of Pizza or Pizza House around here. What is it with all the Pizza House?
Yes.
I think I have it, but keep looking for it.
No, you go. I always screw up.
How many did they find that either are called the House of Pizza or Pizza House in Massachusetts?
I don't know of one.
I'm gonna guess. So there's 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. I'm gonna go with about 180 or so.
Oh, come on, 12.
I'm gonna go because it seems like every town, especially on the North Shore, has
I'm gonna say 75.
I'm gonna say 10.
106.
Yeah.
Which is still pretty good.
Yes.
How many of those libraries have you been to?
I'll tell you actually a funny story to tell you about libraries off the air.
He's got push pins in his map like Rocky Dennis did in Mass of the places he wants to go on his motorcycle trip with.
He is very similar.
Suffice to say, there were some books I was hunting 4 years ago, and I literally was going to different libraries and try to.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
He is a lot like Rocky Dennis. He reminds me a lot of Rocky
Ben.
Dennis.
Ben was his friend's name. He and Ben were going to ride their motorcycles across Europe. But the House of Pizza...
That was a pipe dream. He died well before that happened.
He had a terrible disease, Fred.
Yeah. I didn't give it to him. I mean, I'm just telling you what happened in the movie.
These things are good. Ice cream and cake, a ride on a Harley, and the sun shining on my face. These things are a drag. Rain in my hair, no money in my pocket, and the sun shining on my face.
That's beautiful.
It really is. You know what? Cher didn't like it, though, because she was pissed off because he left all those drug pamphlets around the house during the Halloween party. She thought that was a little out of line.
Well, it's like, don't be so passive-aggressive.
The House of Pizza thing, though, is a Greek pizza designation. Most of them, if not all of them, they come from Greek-style pizza, which I didn't have until I was in college. And the first time I went to get a slice, I'm like, what the hell is this? This isn't pizza. And now I wouldn't say I prefer it, but I'll have Greek pizza just as often enjoyed as much as regular pizza.
Well, Bill's Pizza in Newton Center, I used to know the owner, and I think he sold it. But I was under the impression it was New York style pizza, but then I was told, oh no, this is Greek pizza.
Right.
I was unaware of Greek pizza.
Has to do with the bread. The bread's different. Yeah, like focaccia or something.
All I know is Coney Islands. That's where my Greek food comes from.
Did you enjoy a Coney while you were in Detroit, while we were there a couple of weeks ago?
I did.
You went over to American.
I do. I go to American.
Okay.
That's where I go.
Okay. I went next door over to Lafayette, where it's a little louder, a little dirtier.
I don't know. At American, they kept the door open because they said they were breaking fire code, and it was like 10 degrees outside, and I was right by the door. And the owner kept apologizing because she had to keep the door open because it was so crowded they were breaking the fire code. So, but the good news is you order, and then they somehow beam it onto your table. When you go to like one of these Lafayette or American Coney Island in Detroit, and you order, the food comes to you in legitimately 30 seconds. It's just because it's all the same. It takes them 30 seconds to make it. They don't even make it. They put the hot dog in the bun, the chili on the thing, the onions, the mustard, and then it's done. Then they just hand it to you.
Yeah.
So I could survive the cold.
Jeff Howe tweeting this out, by the way, for anybody who is still engaged in debate today, someone who's still trying to hold on to Patrick Mahomes. He said Tom Brady was 7-3 in the Super Bowl. He walked off the field in the fourth quarter with the lead in all 10 games. Patrick Mahomes is now 3-2 in the Super Bowl. His 2 losses were by a combined 40 points.
I'm a nice man.
Yes, last night was not Patrick Mahomes' fault at all.
No. But he didn't do anything to help himself in the legacy debate either.
No, but it's when they're rushing 4 and they only blitz twice and they're hitting you on every drop back.
Yeah.
And
But
they're
I mean,
making it impossible for you to even scramble.
You can make the argument Brady had to deal with that during his undefeated season. That Giants front four was unbelievable that night, and it was still a close game.
Manning getting out of that situation to throw that ball.
Yeah, something Rodney Harrison is still angry about to this day.
Something to behold. What, do you think he got held or something?
No, he's just pissed he wasn't able to knock it out of Tyree's hands. Tyree hasn't been on a team for ever since.
No, but he's made a cottage industry of signing helmets. All right, that'll do it for us.